Saltage gleams in the neon glow. Coffee grounds scatter with steam rising, black cup on the table. Chipped porcelain, cold and unstable. Bloodshot eyes hide in the fable. Truth buried deep under the label. Sour taste of lies in the brew. Shadows whisper what they knew. Stirring secrets thick as glue. Drip by drip the story grew. Fingers trembling smudge the stain. Whispers echo like a freight train. Lipstick smears but won't explain. What's left in the dark remains. Sour taste of lies in the brew. Shadows whisper what they knew. Stirring secrets thick as glue. Drip by drip the story grew. Fingers trembling smudge the stain. Whispers echo like a freight train. Lipstick smears but won't explain. What's left in the dark remains. Sour taste of lies in the brew. Shadows whisper what they knew. Stirring secrets thick as glue. Drip by drip the story grew. The knife's edge gleams in the neon glow. Coffee grounds scatter where the truth won't go. Voices howl like the wind does blow. Sin brewed up in this grim tableau. Sour taste of lies in the brew. Shadows whisper what they knew. Stirring secrets thick as glue. Drip by drip the story grew. Drip by drip the story grew. Saltage gleams in the neon glow. Coffee grounds scatter with steam rising, black cup on the table. Chipped porcelain, cold and unstable. Bloodshot eyes hide in the fable. Truth buried deep under the label. Sour taste of lies in the brew. Shadows whisper what they knew. Stirring secrets thick as glue. Drip by drip the story grew. Fingers trembling smudge the stain. Whispers echo like a freight train. Whispers echo like a freight train. Lipstick smears but won't explain. What's left in the dark remains. Sour taste of lies in the brew. Shadows whisper what they knew. Stirring secrets thick as glue. Drip by drip the story grew. The knife's edge gleams in the neon glow. Coffee grounds scatter where the truth won't go. Voices howl like the wind does blow. Sin brewed up in this grim tableau. Sour taste of lies in the brew. Shadows whisper what they knew. Stirring secrets thick as glue. Drip by drip the story grew. Drip by drip the story grew.
All right, all right, all right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the cafe. We are open for business. Thank you so much for joining us today. I appreciate you so very much. Hope everybody had a great evening and welcome back. We are here for day number 9, part number 9 of the ISP supplemental reading and other discussion and revolving that stuff and whatever we find out. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Please make sure to hit that like button when you come through that door. Share this out. Let everybody know what we're doing. And please grab a seat at one of these lovely cafe tables. Grab a coffee, tea, whatever it may be. Sit down in here and have a conversation with me. And hopefully Eddie will join me as well. And we can get this stuff out there to you all. We do have a couple things before we get started on that to get moving with. But you'll find that out here, guys. And you know what comes next with this. Let's do this. All right. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you guys are having, again, a great day. I appreciate you all so much for joining us. And again, as we can see on screen, first and foremost, happy birthday to our little Miss Cassie, one of our crew members, one of our team members, one of our family. She's like pretty much the baby of the crew, I think, SRB's daughter. And she's the youngest, although not today. Not anymore. And before I say or do any of what I'm going to do, just remember that I love you, Cassie. That's all that matters, okay? We all do. We love Cassie to death. She's an angel. We love her kids and her, and we don't see her a lot because she's so busy with them kids. But we love her to death. So it is her birthday, so everybody please wish her the happiest of birthdays if you could. I appreciate that very much. I hope you have an amazing day, Cassie, an amazing year, and we can do this again next year. If you don't hate me, that's all I'm gonna say. Come on in, guys. Grab a seat. Get yourselves comfortable. I hope you can grab something to drink, whatever you're gonna do. And like I said, guys, supplemental ISP supplemental report part 9. So many of these, guys. So many of these. But little by little by little by little, we're finding out different things. Last night, we found some new documents that were dropped in regards to all the redacted documents that are going to be coming out. HIPAA gave them another 14 days to go through what they have to do, eliminate witness names, and so on and so forth. So we'll see what happens with that. And hopefully it's sooner than later that we can go through these other documents from Idaho. I really, really am kind of anticipating. I'm hoping that we get something out of it. Based on what I read last night, it doesn't seem like we're getting a whole lot, but we'll see. We'll see. But until then, and like I said, we've been trying to make sure that we're putting out as much, true information. One of the biggest problems with this case has been for the past 2.5 years that there's so much misinformation that's gone out. Eddie and I both, and anybody else that's in here that has been following this, we want the truth and we want justice and we want the true stories of what's going on here. So like I'm saying, Eddie and I both will look for, if something gets said, we try to find the truth behind it. If it's not true, we want to show you the truth. And that's the biggest thing. So I appreciate Eddie doing that. Bobby Old Dude last night pointed something out. We started to discuss and I was asking what are people's thoughts on it, so on and so forth. And because of that, we found a true basis behind it, which is a good thing. That's what I like. So, and that's what I want. But one of these days, folks, I'm hoping that if with all the documents and all these reports that we're going through, that one of these days, maybe the actual truth will come and some real justice may come to this case, to this very sad situation with these 4 victims, their families. It's one hell of a mess, you guys. I'll tell you that much. I've never seen anything like this. And I hope to God I never see anything like this again. I truly do. This has been a mess. But like I said, I'm not letting go of it until I get some truth on this. And I think that's where a lot of us are at with this case. So it's a big one. It is a big one. That's for damn sure. Come on in and grab a seat. I want to make sure we get everybody in here before I go anywhere and do anything else. Give me a minute here. Where we go. Whoa, wait a minute. Come on, damn it. My computer's not cooperating with me today. Surprise. I got off my live last night and my internet went out. I called them and they said, we're doing maintenance. I said, it's midnight. You're doing maintenance at midnight. They said, yeah, because I wanted to sit down and watch some more of the X-Files, right? Yeah, we're doing maintenance on the lines. We do it late at night when nobody needs their service. What? People, what? I'm so sick of this company, you guys. I said, so when's the service going to be back on? You'll have your service back at 6 a.m. So I had to go to sleep watching my phone, some stupid shit on my phone last night. It wasn't actually stupid. I found a movie through Creature Features on YouTube that my cousin actually acted in, which was wild. It was definitely wild. It was an old movie. I hadn't seen in a long time. And, or I had never seen it before, but like I said, I had never heard of the movie and I hadn't seen anything that he had been in for a long time. That's what I was trying to say. Sorry. My brain runs faster than my mouth runs faster than my brain. My apologies. Oh shit. What did I do there? Hang on. It was called The Old Dark House. It was kind of a comedy. Tom Poston, who is my cousin, plays in the movie back in 1963, I think it was. And Creature Features is a channel that is on YouTube that plays a bunch of old, like not really old, but there are old ones in there. Weird B-rated movies and stuff. So it was interesting to see it. Come on in, guys, and grab a seat. Who we got in here so far? It looks like SRBB, BBB, Matt Emlo. Good to see you. The Contessa that loves music. Matt Emlo, Tomboy Charm. Yeah, Tom Poston from Newhart. A lot of people don't know who he is. Yes, that's my cousin, Tomboy. My grandma's cousin. My grandmother's actually, he's not my cousin. From the way it was explained to me, I've just always called him my cousin. I guess he's like a great uncle or something like that. But he's my grandmother's. It's a weird thing. I can't figure it out. I'll have to find and ask my mother. I have always said my cousin because that's how I understood it. So, yeah, you can actually look at it. I'm about to find a picture of my grandmother. You can look at it. Their family, they all had the same facial, the facial look. What, Newhart? Yeah, we had to watch it too. My grandmother forced us because that's our family. We have to support it. Can he support us too? You know what I mean? So come on in. Who else we got in here? Meg, the megastar. Good to see ya. Good to have you here. I'll tell you one thing. He was always funny. He passed away a year or two back, I believe now. And but he was always a funny guy. Mocha, it's been a minute. Good to see ya. Mystery Science Theater 3000. Can't go wrong there. Dustin C. Welcome back, brother. Good to have you here. The cat lady's in the house. It's always wonderful to see you. Hemisphere. Hope Norris, welcome back to you. Eddie's in the house. Good to see you, brother. Miss Cassie, the birthday girl. Great to see you. Yes, I did, Cass. I will be having that one. I will be having that one somehow. The Friday the 13th game sucked. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't the greatest. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre game sucked. I want that one because Michael Myers is my fave, and we all know that. I definitely want that one, and I will play it if it sucks or not, just because Mikey's in it. Let's see here. Sunny Edits, welcome back to you. Yep, that's true too. The new Gabby Petito documentary comes out. I've not watched the first one, but this one I may watch because I heard it's a lot better. Yeah, Michael Myers is my favorite, folks. I have him sitting right next to me, right along with Chucky on the other side. I collect anything horror. Once I get my desk flipped around, I know I say it every day. You guys will see some of my stuff. Too fast, but please, back in the house. Good to see you, Lily Rose. Welcome back to you. The Feminams in the house. Good to see you, Fem. Thank you for joining us today. Typically unique. Welcome back. Always happy to see you. Brady B, the OG. It's wonderful to see you. It's been a while. Elizabeth Wagner, welcome to you. Good to see you. My Chihuahua, driving you crazy, always roaming around, knocking on closed doors. I'll take him outside. He wants to come. Sounds like my dog. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Please wish Cassie a happy birthday. She deserves it. She's getting up there, folks. Yeah. I think she's turning, like I said, she's the baby. Missy, good morning. She's the baby of our crew. And I think she's going to be 51. Or, I mean, that's me. 31, 32, 37, 38, something like that. I don't know. She's getting up there. Legendary, good to see you. Thank you, guys. Kent Corbett, thank you, guys. All you guys for wishing her happy birthday. True Seeker, good to see you. She's going to throw some. She's going to drive to my house now after what I just said and probably try to true slay me. If she even heard me. Oh, she's not being rude. Can no longer call her old because, well, that makes it. No, not really. You're getting better with age. She's just aging. That's all. As we'll see here in a minute. Well, we got 68 peeps in the house, guys. Hit that like button, please, and share this out if you will. Just having a little fun before we get moving, folks. Like I said, this is family here, so we got to treat him. We got to treat him well. I told you before we get started. Don't forget that we love you, Cass. That's all I'm saying. Let's start off with this one here. I got a couple things for you. This one just because it's funny.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Yo, check the mic 1, 2. This for you. It's your birthday, true. Coming at you. We gonna celebrate, elevate, no debate. Another year, you looking great. Seal your fate. Happy birthday to you.
Welcome you
Happy
back.
birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Word up, it's your day. Let the rhythm play. Gonna shout it loud, hip hop parade. From the block to the world, your story unfurl. Another chapter, diamond and pearl, you're the world. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Yo, we got the beat pumping, the bass is jumping. Everybody's vibing, no slumping, just bumping. So throw your hands up, fill your birthday cup. To the birthday star, what's up, what's up? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Yeah, you know how we do, hip-hop crew. Birthday wishes coming true just for you. Peace out and respect, no reject, just accept this birthday vibe perfectly set. You're the best yet. You're the best yet. Best yet. Best yet. Best yet. Best yet. Best yet. Best. Yo, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Yeah, you know how we do, hip-hop crew. Birthday wishes coming true just for you. Peace out and respect, no reject, just accept this birthday vibe perfectly set. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Yeah, you know how we do, hip-hop crew. Birthday wishes coming true just for you. Peace out and respect, no reject, just accept this birthday vibe perfectly set. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Yo, yeah. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
And there you go with that one there, Cass. She don't even like that kind of music, but I thought that was kind of cool. But, 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 hold on now. This next one is from me to her specifically. You like cake? Well, you were raised on that old hip hop stuff, so probably, yeah, you probably do like it. Makes sense. All right, Miss Cass. All right. Welcome, Sunny, Summer Thunder, all you guys. Good to see you guys. Give me just a few more minutes here so we can wish Miss Cass a happy birthday. And Donna, good to see you. Great to have you guys all here today. Please make sure that you're wishing Cassie happy birthday on your way through the door. All right, Cass, here you go. From me to you, my dear. There you go, my dear. There you go. And one more thing, we always do. 1 second. Oh, and also, you gotta have when it's your birthday. Hold on a minute. You gotta have some snacks for your birthday, right? Since you got that something, just go easy, like he said in the song. But because of that, this is for you too. I was having fun with this morning. Just saying. All right, and last but not least, I always give my people a cake of some sort. Give me 1 second here, y'all. Where's it at? Where's my cake? I put my order in this morning. Better have it ready. I guess not. Well, let's see here. I'll give you this. Good Lord, my is not cooperating today. Here we go, Cass. Okay. And I only put 3 candles on here because I didn't want to have to call the fire department if we put the real candles on there. So you know how that goes. But yeah. 1 minute here. All right. Make sure you make a wish.
Happy birthday!
All right, kiddo. There you go. I've harassed you enough. I hope you do have a great day today, though. I do. And have a great year, and we can do it all again, and I can harass you some more next year. But there you go. Thank you guys again for joining us today. Please make sure to wish Cassie a happy birthday. And tell Miss Liberty I said hello. Dado says hello. What's up? Keep it real. Good to see you. I think I've caught up to everybody. Hold on. Miss Donna, typically, yeah, I caught all you guys. I think I don't see anybody else now. Thank you, Kent. You are so welcome. Let's see. So yeah, guys, like I said, getting into what we're here for. We are on part 9 of the ISP supplemental reading. Again, And day after day after day after day, we learn something new, something different from what's up, Stitches. Good to see you. From what we're told. I love it. That's awesome. Hi, Dado. I haven't seen her in a while. I'll have to jump in the Discord and talk to her one of these times here soon. Let's see. So, like I said, yeah, well, we've been learning new stuff and changing things that have changed and all sorts of stuff with these reports, guys. It's crazy. There's Tandy. Lunch break time. What's good in the neighborhood? Good to see you, Tandy. You just missed all the fun. Again, everybody popping in here. Make sure you tell Miss Cassie happy birthday. It is her birthday. Yes. Good to see you, Stitches. Thank you for joining us, neighbor. I'm in the north, the cold part. Yes. So today we're going to pick up where we left off. Hopefully we get through some interesting stuff. I've been we decided yesterday, by the way, to kind of skim through the, what do you call them? All the Brian Koberger, bashing documents and reports. And, I'm just tired of hearing and reading the same shit over and over again. Yeah, the slanderous interviews that are absolutely ridiculous. So it's saving us a little bit of time. If we need to go back to those for whatever reason, we can do that. I prefer not to read through those anymore because they've been ridiculous. Most of them have been ridiculous. So we've been rolling through those and catching up on the other stuff that's more important because those aren't important. They have no bearing on the case. They have no bearing on what happened in the case or the people that were murdered, folks. So there's no point in sitting here and reading through this again and again and again when it's basically the same statements from pretty much the same people, So we'll go back to them if we need to. I don't think we'll need to, but just saying. Everything else is more important to me. Speaking of, let me get this pulled up here again. Eddie, the link is pinned if you want to join me, bro. If not, no worries, but it's there if you want to. Lisa Winchester, welcome. Good to see you today. Thank you for joining us again. And thank you guys so much for wishing Cassie a happy birthday. That means a lot. I love the community and everybody in it and how we back and support each other. That means a lot. Hold on here. Where's me link? I know my link's in here somewhere. Hold on a minute. I almost have it. There's me link. Okay. All right. Let's open this up here. Welcome, Gag Deguchi. Good to see you. Welcome, Edward. How are you today, my friend?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good to have you.
Happy birthday, Cassie.
There we go. Thanks, Eddie. I appreciate that.
When
yes,
you
sir.
Began your live stream, you had touched on something that's very important. It's kind of what we were discussing and left off with last night. I also asked you the question, was that November 18th interview with Eric Gower recorded? And I looked it up to save you the trouble, and of course it was. So
okay,
it cannot be overstated how much of a red flag that is. And let me explain why. Because that was a subsequent interview. He had already had an interview, and he did not mention that important detail. Now, if you are able to see, and by the way, whenever I say you, I mean you all, everybody, plural.
Of course.
I always do. If you're able to see that what they're not showing you is suspicious, for example, the 3 unidentified male DNAs that they didn't test. Not only didn't they test, they didn't even preserve it. It doesn't exist.
Right.
Then you should also be able to see that what they are trying to show you is equally or more suspicious. So notice how, and for those who weren't here last night, it was a discussion about Eric Grower saying that the black SUV was at the end of the driveway. We assume that SUV is Hunter Chapin's.
Yeah.
We always thought all along that vehicle arrived there, before noon in the morning after he was notified of, the quadruple homicide. But it could also very well be that that vehicle arrived right around 4:30 a.m. Can't prove it one way or another. It happened behind the camera, but someone in the chat said, well, it's Eric Gore said that he saw it when he dropped Maddie and Kaylee off. So many of us didn't hear that. So we looked into it. That person said that it was found in the interview, and we looked at the interviews, and again, the Moscow police interview that happened with Eric on the 14th, Detective Blaker interviewed, didn't contain that, but the ISP interview 4 days later did. So that person was right, and we all accepted it out of hand that, oh, lo and behold, Eric Brower did say that. And we accepted it as fact. But check this out. That's what these reports are so good at doing. They create this illusion that something is true. These reports are not case facts. What you're seeing here, they're not interviews. They're not statements. None of it is discovery. So if they say it was recorded, then you need to see the recording of it. I want to see how that detail in the interview came out. We need to see the interaction between the detective and Eric Grauer in order to be able to understand the entire communication experience and the context. What happens if when they unseal the interview that they don't allow us to see it? What happens if we are just left with a transcript?
It's a good point. And I've been saying the whole time, I'm glad you said that too. I want to hear these audio recordings of these interviews with these witnesses, with everybody. Every one of them, I want to hear every single one of these folks. I don't care how long it would take to listen to them, but I do. Are we ever going to do that? I highly doubt, because in some aspect, I wonder if they even exist. Okay. If they may have, but I don't know that they do now. I hope that they would be applicable for us to be able to get to, but I really just doubt it. I do. But that is, like he's saying, that's the best, absolute way best to know what we're reading, right or wrong, if it's real or not. Okay. Is by listening to, an audio recording of that interview. I'd love to be able to find a way to get these, to FOIA these, if they're going to give them to us, however I can. I've already written down to look into it. Once we get through the reports, I've been writing down audio report numbers, things like that, to try to get these. We'll see if they're going to release them or not. If you release in this, why would you not, in the reports it says refer to this audio recording, so on and so forth. If you're going to release this, why would you not release those? That's my theory on it, but we'll see. I don't know. Any thoughts on, do you think that we'll be able to get them, Eddie?
I don't. Well, I know one thing. Whatever would help understand the truth, we're not going to get any of that. And whatever, there's two pictures. The picture that they are preventing us from seeing, and when that happens, then there has to be a picture that they're presenting in its place, right?
Yeah.
So, they'll release things that show this, like, I don't know, lack of a better word, alternate reality type of truth.
Yeah, well, this whole case is an alternate. It is absolutely in an alternate reality based on everything I've seen. None of it. I think most of us have the same reactions, and I'm sure you'll agree with this. That as we're seeing these things, okay, we're all just kind of like, how, okay, we're not all paralegals and attorneys and law enforcement officers. None of most of us aren't, but we have common sense, okay, and the fact that we do what we do here gave us a little bit more of an edge than just your everyday people walking around because we've done so much of it. And with that and the common sense that we have, folks, we can all tell that's how shady this is and how bad, in my opinion, of a job they actually did for us to be able to point these things out, to see these things for what they are, to know that there's people lying repeatedly, okay, not just here or there, repeatedly lying in this case, withholding information. There's so much, and I mean so much, I don't understand. This is what I don't understand. There is so much prosecutorial misconduct, in my opinion, along with judicial misconduct in this case. And I'm saying from the beginning, Megan Marshall, John Judge, Judge Hippler, everybody on the prosecution team, it's all misconducted. Okay. They have all done illegal things. They have all done what I would consider illegal things. I'm sorry. But based on what we're reading through and looking at and seeing happening, it to me, it's illegal. And they've all basically spit on the Constitution, folks. There's a man sitting in jail right now that, by all rights, we should have no idea who he is. He definitely shouldn't be sitting in jail based on the information and the lack thereof evidence that they have with this case. That is what makes no sense. That is what the importance is in this case, to make it known to the world how horribly bad this was done, how horrible this investigation there, again, lack thereof is. There wasn't one. And like I said, just the fact itself that I've read through multiple reports in the Moscow reports done by Brett Payne, the lead detective himself, that were never recorded. Witness interviews never recorded. Nothing followed up on, any of that stuff. All of those things are standard procedure in any kind of type of a criminal investigation. Good morning, Miss JC, or afternoon, I'm sorry. So those things alone, before we get into all the other bullshit, they contaminate this case in itself and the investigation. Just those things alone. And we have so many other things that go on top of that, So again, I'm sure you'll agree, Eddie, that what I'm saying here is the biggest problem with this entire thing. Like I said, Brian isn't important. He's important. He's a human being. Okay. The fact that his life was being taken away from him, that's important too. But that's not even my biggest issue right now. It's all of this other stuff. The fact that this is even okay to be done, that people are looking at these things. And I know that other people have seen this. The people, anyone that works for the Department of Justice, if they were to look at any of these reports and just, I can't imagine they would pass by. And it goes back to what Cy Ray said in his affidavit, based on his 30 plus years experience, that this is not basically in I can't remember his exact words, but it's not accidentally being misinformed to the courts. It's absolutely being done on purpose, and it's to cover up a much, much bigger issue. Those are his words. That's what I want to get to the middle of and get to the center of and get to the truth on. What is that much, much bigger issue and why? Why did 4 people lose their lives? Why is a fifth person losing his life? Why are all these families suffering through and being lied to, told that their children were murdered for this reason or that reason, but they weren't? All of these things are the reasons why we do this and why we're doing this every single day, folks. At least for me. Welcome, Devil Woman. Good to see you. Don't be hating. Good to see you too, Eddie. I agree, disagree.
Yeah, and well said.
Thank you.
We all know we're intelligent enough. If someone lies to you 99 times, then are you likely to believe them on the 100th time?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a good way to put it. Let's see. I want to make sure we got everybody. 78 people in the house, guys. Please make sure to hit that like button on your way and share it out. Let's get into this. Yeah. Common sense goes a long, long way, especially in this case. That ain't no lie, cat lady. Everybody that works for the government in Moscow is sketchy, in my opinion. Let's not forget the people that run the college as well, okay? And they're all interlinked. All right, you guys. Let's get this up here and get it lit, ready to go. Thank you, SRB. Guys, yeah, if you're interested in jumping into the sauce with the rest of us as we spill this sauce every single solitary day, that link right there will help you do that. SRB will get you set up and show you how to do it. If you have an iPhone and they don't like to cooperate because they're iPhones, you can click this link right here and it'll help you if you struggle. Witchy, good to see you. Thank you for joining us today. Okay, I think that we're big out here. So we're starting off, guys, at 172 today. We left off at this one before the one before this. I'm sorry. I should have drank some lemon water today. Common sense isn't that common. The media makes sure that people stay dumbed down. Oh, absolutely. You are not lying on that one. They try. They try. I'll say that, Devil Woman. They try, but we're a little smarter than that aspect. The people that they have doing this has got to be stupid to think that we believe most of what they're saying. We question everything. I don't care if it does seem realistic. I still question it. I know most of us do. Sometimes that causes problems when we do it, but we do find the truth at some point, and we keep looking until we do, and we will keep looking until we do. So. Okay, so this is like I said, supplemental number 172. This is Jacob Schwecke, and I believe Detective Powell. On March 2nd of 23, ISP Detective Hugh Powell and ISP Detective Jacob Schwecke conducted the interview with blank at the blank located blank in the city of Pullman, Whitman County, Washington. Blank, a student in the blank programs at blank, and Brian Koberger was blank during the fall of the 2022 semester. Oh, wait a minute. Well, okay, I'm going to read this one, but I'm going to skip anything, like I said, that is a slanderous report about Brian. I've been skipping through it right now. We don't need to deal with that. So I'll read this one. We'll see what it says and move on from there. After that, though, I'm going to keep skipping these. I don't know that this is slanderous, but we'll see. So it says blank, Washington, Pullman, Washington is a blank at WSU, and Brian Koberger was her blank. I'm guessing teaching assistant. During the fall 22 semester, the following is a summary of the interview. Reference the audio or interview recording for full details. That statement there that is in all of these reports that says reference the audio interview recording for full details. That alone should give us the ability to have access to those, because they're telling us to do that in these reports. And I would hope that is a possibility, folks. I really want to hear these, all of them. Welcome, Steve. Good to see you, buddy. That's exactly true, JC. And it still can happen anywhere. And that's why we do this. She provided the following information. She attended blank criminal justice class during the fall of 2022. Koberger was blank for that course. I guess signed up for that course, maybe. I don't know. She liked the course and met Koberger that first week. She met with Koberger once in his office to go over her work on a brief. He gave her suggestions, and she didn't like the feedback that he was giving. Koberger came off as smart, but quiet and off. He seemed kind of smart, not weird, just off. She believes that he only showed up to class twice, and he didn't really do much. He was kind of useless TA. He was really interested in the psychology behind crimes. Approximately 20 students attended the class. She had a few interactions with Koberger and only a few email exchanges through school. She sent me photographs of her online conversations with him, which I entered into the Taburion e-files. Love to have those too. And that's it. Like I said, they were so lazy with these reports and these interviews, folks. They don't have any ending to this. They don't follow up with these things. I mean, it irritates me how this investigation was ran in every aspect. I'm sorry. Let's see. Let me check these to make sure of what they are. Give me. Okay, so this one is definitely not about that. So one moment here. I agree, double one. All right, guys, 1 second. This is Detectives Alderson, Tolson, Talbot, and Sergeant Michael Van Leuven, I'm sorry. And Tim Best. I'm sorry about that. So this interview was given by this is Latah County, actually, too. So they were involved as well. Latah County, Idaho State, Moscow, FBI. We have multiple agencies here, okay? And there's still so many mistakes being made. It's ridiculous. Hold on. On November 22nd, Idaho State Police Detectives Alderson, Tolson, Talbot, and Tim Best, and also Michael Van Leuven, I'm sorry, interviewed Latah County Sheriff's Deputy. They interviewed the deputy. Okay. That's where I got confused. Latah County Sheriff's Chief Deputy Timothy Best regarding information he had received related to the homicides. Best advised that he had received information from blank at blank blank related that he had received a phone call from blank 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 said blank sounded drunk. Blank lived at blank in Moscow, Idaho. This address is approximately 350 feet from the house where the homicides occurred. Blank advised that his uncle used to work for the ATF and that he had his uncle's ATF hat and jacket. Blank said that he had put on his hat and jacket and walked into the crime scene when the bodies were being removed. Blank said that he had walked into the crime scene and observed the blood evidence. Blank said he spoke to a Moscow police officer named Blank. Blank is not a Moscow PD officer. He was a recruit, but didn't make it off FTO, which is basically off of the probationary period. Blank said that Blank wanted to search his house, but said that he would not give him consent and said Blank would have to talk to his landlord. Blank said he described the crime scene as shooting a deer inside of an apartment building. Blank further told Blank that he was outside of his house getting ready for a hunting trip when he heard a car starting up at approximately 3:45 a.m. on the morning of the homicides and saw a car come from the area of the homicide and drove past his house. He had no vehicle description other than it was a car. Blank told Blank that all the victims were double tapped in the house. What that means, folks, is it means that they were shot. Okay. He made no mention of anyone being stabbed. Blank described a blood trail in a house that led toward the bathroom, but that he didn't make it. Blank said that he went hunting that day near Deary with a man named Blank. Blank said that there were reporters near his house setting up to shoot video, and that one of the reporters had backed into his vehicle. The interview was also audio recorded. This recording was later placed on a disc, and the disc will be transferred to Moscow PD. Nothing further. All right, I'm going to stop right there. I know this is the first one or second one, but we're going to stop right there and discuss this for a second. First off, I struggle believing this.
I do too.
It's right, because as screwed up as this situation was, you're not going to throw on a jacket and a hat that says ATF on it when that is the only person in that area that is wearing that material and walk into a crime scene. I'm sorry, I don't believe that. And I don't know who this guy is, how young he is, what he looks like, whatever, but we have Moscow PD on scene and ISP on scene at some point. You can't just walk in wearing these things and they're not going to question you or look at you. And he says he walked up to a Moscow police officer and asked him a question. Now, being that the guy was a recruit, possibly, okay, but I don't believe that you went in that house and they didn't stop you. First off, there's always somebody by both doors that has a list and they write names in and out every time somebody goes in and out. We've seen those reports. So unless there's a report showing this guy's name with the ATF attached to it, I don't believe this. Okay. And like I said, he would be the only person wearing those letters. Nobody else with the ATF was there. They're not going to question that. They know. Let me put this down. They know who responded to the scene. They know who was coming because they brought them. Okay. And I'm pretty sure they didn't call for the ATF to show up. You can't just do something like this, folks. So, like I said, I struggle believing this. That's all I'm saying. I could be wrong, but I don't know. Welcome, Jesse. Good to see you, bud. The link is pinned at the top of the chat, Jesse, if you want to join us. But I'm just saying, I don't know that I believe this. If we see some other proof down the road, then okay, we'll go there. But he's saying that, based on what he saw, that everybody was double tapped. And like I said, that means there was shooting. I don't know. I'm not saying that that's not true. I'm just saying this story is hard to believe. I mean, that's true too, KP. Don't get me wrong. That's right, that the cops were so green. You could see them being intimidated. And if there was nobody else around when the guy did this, okay, as far as senior officers, they were busy doing other things. Like I said, it's a maybe for me, but I struggle with it, is all I'm saying. Yeah, I get it, Jesse. I'm in the same place. We all are with what to believe. Welcome, Jan. Good to see you today. So like I said, Eddie, any thoughts on this? I have to step away for like 3 seconds. I'll be right back at your.
Well, the only question I have is, when does this person claim to have been in the crime scene? Was that the same day as, the morning of the 911 call? It doesn't really seem to say. It kind of suggests it, but it's not clear on that point. Unless I'm misreading it.
Okay, so yeah, that is a good question. It says it doesn't. I don't think it gives a date. On November 22nd is when the report was taken, or the interview was done with the sheriff's deputy. What I want to know is where did he get the information from? Timothy Best. You know what I mean? He got a phone call from somebody that sounded drunk. So there's another aspect to this that makes me go, okay. I don't know. But yeah, that's a good question, Eddie. Okay, moving on.
I guess I want to see the interview where they question the uncle that
Yeah.
had the ATF jacket.
Yeah, that would be another thing. And I want to hear the audio in that one too. Big time. I want to hear the phone call. Van Leeuwen interviewed blank, date of birth of 85, regarding her observation of a suspicious person at the Moscow blank that occurred prior to homicides. Okay. On November 29th, ISP detective Michael Van Leeuwen interviewed blank, date of birth of 1985 at the Moscow PD regarding her observation of a suspicious person at the Moscow blank that occurred prior to the homicides. Blank was accompanied by her mother, blank, and blank described seeing a suspicious white male standing near the self-checkout area in the Moscow blank. staring at a man and woman. Blank thought might have been homicide victims Dana Kernodle and Ethan Chapin. Blank said the suspicious male was approximately 5'11", not overweight, with brown hair, in his mid-50s, wearing clean clothes with no coat. She said that he maybe had facial hair and maybe had glasses. Blank said that he was creepy, staring at them. She described the man's appearance as being outdated. She said that she thought this may have occurred between the end of October to the weekend the homicides occurred. Blank said that she thought she may have seen the same man within the next couple of days driving a white pickup near the dollar store. Her level of confidence that this is the same man was approximately 60%. This interview was audio recorded and later placed on disc and sent to Moscow PD. Blank drew a sketch of the self-checkout area showing where she was standing in relation to the couple and the suspicious man. I later transferred this sketch to MPD and placed a digital scan of the sketch on the same disc as the audio was copied to. Nothing further. And of course, we don't have a copy of the sketch. Either way, that's okay. There's a lot of tips like this. As soon as Brian was arrested, people come out of the woodwork. I saw this, I saw that, I think this, I think that. So who knows? That's what I'm worried about, that devil woman. The statement right here is probably true. All proof of interviews was destroyed in fires. All evidence that doesn't point to Brian was destroyed in a faulty fridge. Sorry, guys, we're just gonna have to trust them, and they aren't gonna tell. That's probably one of the best statements that's been put out there, devil woman, because it's absolutely facts, and it's a big issue. It's a big problem. The fire, the fridge, all these things that have happened, guys. Do you think that these coincidences are like reality? I don't. It doesn't. It's obvious what was going on. You know what I mean? These things don't happen like this. They just don't.
Yeah, that's an excellent comment by Devil Woman, and you're right. It's those aren't coincidences.
Not at all. Things like this just don't happen, guys. In the movies, sure. This isn't a movie, folks. This isn't Hollywood. This is real life. Even though it may look like it's Hollywood, because it is ridiculous.
It is deliberate, and this is not tunnel vision. This is not a case of tunnel vision by the detectives.
Not at all. All right, let me see here. Next up. 1 minute. Yeah, never again. Exactly. Just trust us. Trust the process. Kiss my ass. Okay, so this one here is again Michael Van Leuven. It says interviewed blank, date of birth of 2000 at the sorority house in Moscow, Idaho.
Real quick before you begin, another excellent comment by she's just a devil woman. The entire investigation was pitched from the get-go. This case could have been won by that fact alone, and that is true, except for the fact that the thing that is making their case so weak is the same thing that's making it so strong, because it is a state-sanctioned effort and they hold all the cards. They dictate everything about the case, and they're only going to allow it to be one way. Yeah, in a right side up world, a case that has no direct evidence, of course that would be slam dunk case for the defense, but not in this case, because it's a conspiracy. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. And yes, SRB. The detectives absolutely knew exactly when to steer away from anything of any importance, 100%, or to not just steer away, but to mold it to what it needed to be, per se. Okay, so blank interviewed blank, date of birth of 2000 at sorority house in Moscow, Idaho. Homicide victims Maddie Mogan, Xana Kernoodle were both members of that sorority, whatever that was. I can't remember the name of it right now. The purpose of this interview with blank was for her to go through the blank member roster, and identify other members that were particularly close to Mogan and Kernodle for the purposes of conducting subsequent victimology interviews. If anybody remembers the name of their sorority, please let me know so I can write that down because I keep forgetting the name of it. We asked for former roommates, fellow pledge class members, big and little sisters, etc., and we had been provided a member roster list from the university. Blank had printed a new roster list from the sorority and gave it to us. I will transfer this roster to MPD. The interview was recorded again, later placed on disc and sent to MPD. Nothing further. They didn't investigate anything of importance at all. Just like Steve G used the word narrative all the time. Everything, thank you. He learned from LA. Everything that Steve has said, he learned from law enforcement, folks. Everything. Kill kit, the what the hell was the other thing he said? That they were joking around all the time. Pranks, the kill kit, everything that Steve came up with. He didn't come up with that on his own. He was given that. Okay. He was given that because they knew that he was going to talk to the world about what happened. And they knew that he was going to put out all the information that they needed him to keep this going in that direction. Go ahead, Eddie. Sorry.
Yeah. The same with, putting out Ethan was, Hunter Johnson was the one who discovered the bodies, took Ethan's pulse. Same source. They have SG put it out there. Absolutely.
Yeah, I do agree. The Canton Sallyport missing time actually weakened the Commonwealth's case instead of strengthening it. Is it through tampering with evidence? Saying, oh yeah. In Karen's case, yes. Good. That's a good call, Echo. What she's talking about is in the Karen Reed case, the Canton Sallyport missing time actually weakened the Commonwealth's case instead of strengthening it through tampering with evidence. There's a video out there, folks, that we watched, some of us that were in here, in the Sallyport, where they're doing things they're not supposed to be doing back there. Okay. And they flipped it, the video, and it actually did help because they were able to see the corruption through that. But a good statement again. Yeah, that's a good point too. They not only messed up the investigation, they made up absolute and total complete lies. That's another problem. And people are still running with these lies. That's the biggest issue with this. No, that's why I'm screaming at people to shut up and sit down, because they're still talking about things that they're not true and never have been true, and they've been proven by investigators and prosecutors. So, on we go. Let me see here. On December 1st of 22, ISP Detective Alderston and I, Sergeant Van Leuven, interviewed blank, date of birth of 82, regarding her concern that the blank date of birth of 70 at the apartment complex where she lived could be responsible for the homicides. This apartment complex was known as the blank and was located off blank. Is it called the Whites? Maybe. I don't know which one they're talking about here, but okay, we'll just say maybe that's it. Blank had advised blank, told her he knew the victims. Hold on a minute. Blank told her that he knew the victims, Kaylee Gonsalves and Madison Mogan. Blank said that blank's wife worked as a blank and said that she saw that blank had a bandage on his right hand and told her he had cut it during a woodworking accident. This interview was audio recorded. Welcome, JC. On December 2nd, Detective Alderston and I contacted blank at his office at the apartment complex. Despite being considered a person of interest in a homicide investigation, Blank was cooperative and friendly throughout our interview. Blank told us that he had an accident with a table saw on November 9th or November 16th and had been treated at Blank in Moscow. Blank's wife later called and confirmed the date was November 16th and said he would sign a release of medical records if we wanted. Blank confirmed that his wife Blank at one of the sororities on campus. He said he had heard of Xana Kernodle and Maddie Mullen, but had not met them. For alibi purposes, Blank said at the time of the homicides, he was asleep at his house located at blank in Moscow. He showed me pictures on his phone of security footage on the night of the homicide showing his vehicle parked in the driveway of his house from 12:11 a.m. to 6:53 a.m. On November 13th, I took a photograph of his phone showing this image. I asked to see his wound. He showed me his left index finger. The wound was consistent with an injury from a table saw, as there was evidence of the kerf of the blade removing flesh from his finger. I took photographs of Blank and his finger. I asked Blank for a DNA sample. Blank consented to give a sample, which I took using buccal swabs. I transferred the swab to the Moscow PD. Interview was recorded. I later placed this recording on disc and sent it to MPD. Okay. What's up, JC? Thank you for joining us up here. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
great.
I just was wondering when you were talking, and I hate to like come in like this, but
No, it's okay. That's why we're doing it.
When Hunter Johnson went inside for the first time, he took Ethan's pulse.
Well, he says he didn't.
He says he did not.
When he brought the officers in after the first responding officer got there with the defibrillator, he was standing in the doorway with his hands over his head, and the guy come running in. I believe it was Officer Nunez, and says, "Where's she at? Where's she at?" And he goes up the stairs. They follow him, and another officer comes behind him. I think it was Officer Warner, and they go up. They go into the back room. He shows on body cam. You can see it. He shows where Xana is, and he says, "I took her pulse. She's not with us anymore. I
took her pulse."
Yeah, and then he says, "I didn't take his pulse, but I'm pretty sure he's gone."
Okay, I was gonna say, because from the sounds and from what I hear about the way Ethan was found, was his pulse needed to be taken?
Probably not.
Okay.
Being that he had from my understanding, he had what they call a smiley face, from ear to ear, and he also had the other injury too, and he was gone. He had bled out completely. So
That's what
you can probably look at it, and that's why I think Hunter said, "I'm pretty sure he's gone." So
yeah.
But yeah, no, I understand. That's why we do this, is so that we can answer questions and make sure that everybody is,
I was
if
just
you're unsure of something and we can pull it out of a report or something that we've already talked about, then we can make sure everybody's not confused. So absolutely. I appreciate the questions, actually, because some people ask questions of things that I may not know and somebody else does. And when we get the answer from it, it gives me the answer too, JC. So I'm learning this as much as everybody else is. You know what I mean?
right.
I think we all are. Let's see this next. So what do you think of all this stuff? Since you're up here, with all the reports that we've gone through, if you followed up with any of it, what do you think of any of it thus far?
I don't really know. It's it just makes me question more, I guess. And
that's what it does too. More questions, not answers, right?
yeah. And the other thing I was going to ask is, I would love to know, you know how I was telling you yesterday about Ashley Banfield putting that stuff out, and
Yeah.
I mean, Nancy Grace is the same way. Like, they all think that, I mean, to us, they all think he's guilty, right? I would really like to know what they really think.
I think, okay, I've been screaming at these reporters for days now because they're all putting out misinformation. They're telling lies, lie after lie after lie. And now we know that's their job, but that's a good point. Is it is it also their actual feelings, or is it just that what they're putting on a show because that's their paycheck?
That's
I'd
their
like to know
paycheck.
that myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to get them one-on-one without, whatever, and
Right.
ask them, like, what do you really think?
And with that, let me say that I feel like a lot of them probably do believe he's guilty because they've been force fed and brainwashed from day one, all of this stuff. So maybe they do. Okay. Ashley is making ignorant comments like, I hope he gets shanked in prison and this and that and all that. That tells me she thinks he did it.
Yeah.
But they're lying repeatedly. There's things that have been proven, like I said, again and again, I'll say it. Detective Gilbertson, Detective Payne, the prosecutor, Bill Thompson. These three people are the most important people in this investigation, in my opinion. Okay. And all three of them have completely debunked multiple statements that have been made. Welcome, Krista. And stated things, the car was cleaned with bleach. No, it wasn't. All those little, excuse me, all those little details that all these other creators and these news reporters are running around with saying, see, there's proof that he did it. The fact that the thumbs up video or photograph that everybody said, well, there's proof that he did it.
That
And
doesn't prove
Gilbert,
anything.
well, it doesn't. But Gilbertson, even on top of that, said Brian has hundreds of pictures like that. That's his thing. He did it all the time. Just multiple things like that are repeatedly being stated that are definitely not true. And they're telling the world, even though they're involved in the investigation still, those aren't true. And people are still running with it. Okay. Because if they don't have anything to support the narrative that they're running or the theories that they're talking about. And if you don't have anything supporting it, what happens? It collapses. That can't happen because once it collapses, guess what? We're back to where we're sitting here looking at it going, we told you, we told you, we told you, we told you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
So,
some of the stuff is never going to be you can't go back and read, like, some things you don't get a second chance at, right? Like, they should have interviewed more people in the beginning, in the very, very beginning. Um, you know, you don't get the second chance that,
a good point. Very good point.
you
Witchy says
know.
here real quick, Hunter's pulse statements that MPD document number 2. Hunter says that he checked Xana's pulse, did not see Ethan. And then MPD doc number 42, Hunter says that he checked both Xana and Ethan's pulse. And there it is. And then we see in the body cam video what he says there as well. So, like I said, just like with Dylan, just like with Bethany and anybody else that was involved there, multiple statements being made. And we know basically
And
which one.
not sorted out.
Right. And there's no follow-ups with these. We know which ones are basically the truth, but they're still putting them all, overlaying them one after another to continue to run the same narrative. Like we've been saying, Brian's in jail. This is done. If you look at it from that angle, okay. Why are they still doing this? Why are they still running with this? All these other news channels and all this. Why? I think, like I said, because they have to continuously run this narrative into the ground until they can no longer do it. Because there's people like us out here that are going through this stuff day after day going, that's not true. That's not true. That didn't happen. That's not true. And pointing at the thing saying Brian's innocent, okay, because of these things. So again, these are, my feelings on this, and not everybody's going to think that same way, but that's what it looks like to me. Welcome, Lost Faith. And Devil Woman says again, there's a reason nobody has questioned the narrative. Anytime the media repeats the same junk, you can bet it's not on the up. None of them have questioned it whatsoever. Oh, big time red flag, and agreed. Actually, Coffindopper surprised me yesterday. She was on, I saw that they were together, sadly, on Drunk Turkey, and actually said she questions the investigation. Now you do? Now you do. Okay.
What?
I believe she thinks he's guilty, but at least I believe she has questions. Well, it's a little late now, Jen. Sorry. You should have questioned it 2.5 years ago. Welcome, Jesse. Thanks for joining us, bud.
I must apologize. I try to grab 5 hours of sleep, and every time I try to sleep for 5 hours, it seems like I miss two days worth of information it'll take me 2 days to catch up after sleeping for 5 hours.
It happens.
But I'm a little bit unclear about the. I mean, I woke up this morning to headlines or titles on your live from last night, saying that the defense and the prosecution are in agreement about redacting names. And
Some things, yes, yeah.
And do we have any idea? Like, we're not talking about Hunter Chapin, Maisie Chapin, Josie. Are those some of the names they want to redact?
The list. Well, the documents that I read from both sides, prosecution and defense, they're basically redacting everybody that's not law enforcement or not medical staff. That's it. All the witnesses' names, basically addresses, phone numbers, date of birth, they want redacted because they blamed it on mainstream and social media, causing people to go to their houses and make threats, and because they put people's names out and stuff like
Could
that.
I ask you a question, Dago?
Yes, sir.
Has anybody threatened you?
No.
No? You haven't got any nasty emails or anything like that?
I mean, I've gotten, from other, subscribers and stuff that don't like me because of what I support. But yeah, that's it. Nobody other than that.
I'm starting to get comments on at my work. So we're not talking about my personal Twitter feed or my personal YouTube channel, but they're coming into my personal work where I work when I'm commenting on sports, and they're in the comment section there telling me that I have no business commenting on a case where the defendant already pled guilty, and I better watch myself and stuff like this.
What?
And I mean, and I take that as a threat. I mean,
it is.
I mean, if I go into your place of work to discuss the Idaho 4, and I'm not invited to your place, if you work at a restaurant or a club or a lawyer's office or whatever, if I go to your place of work and say, hey, I want to talk to you about how I disagree with you about your stance on the Idaho 4 case, I mean, that's exactly the kind of thing that I'm hearing them describe. We're not actually talking about credible threats here. We're talking about things that make people uncomfortable. And yeah, thankfully, in the business that I'm in, I think that they probably get, we're in the business of selling information to degenerate gamblers, and degenerate gamblers often lash out and say that Jesse's a motherfucker. Oh, so I shouldn't. Sorry for the language, but I think they get that a lot. My employers, I would have to do something pretty wrong before my employers would pay any attention to it.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, I agree with you, Jesse. Hold on one quick second. I have to do something.
But yeah, I do feel as though that anybody who participated in those documentaries, whether it be the Amazon documentary or the Dateline documentary, anybody who's been providing interviews to Ashley Bamfield or going on mainstream media and having their say and pushing their preferred narrative out there, they have no right now to say, well, I want my name redacted. Was your name redacted in the Amazon documentary? No, you went out there, you had your say, you told everybody what we should think, and now you want to hide behind some bullshit fucking story. I mean, if you were worried about your safety, if you were worried about getting threats, why did you go out and talk to mainstream media? I think anybody who's spoken to mainstream media, law enforcement included, has no right to have their name redacted. And
I agree.
And Hitler should say that. I mean, I'm sure that is the correct way to handle it by the letter of the law. You give up your right to privacy when you go and start talking to the media.
I do agree.
Well,
And
yeah, it's
go ahead,
public
JC.
because the media is public. Like, you give up your right to privacy or whatever when you go public.
Well,
Or
and like I stated last night,
don't go public.
when we were reading these, Lucy was even making a statement too. These people were going to testify at the trial on a stand. Were they going to wear bags over their head and talk to a voice recorder or a voice changer? Other than that, we're going to know who they are. So why that's what makes no sense. Why are we redacting them now? But they were going to testify in front of the whole world. That's what makes no sense to me. Okay. Not to mention, like what you just said, people that decide that they want to jump on Dateline and Nightline and 48 hours and make $1,000. It's okay to do it there. You don't get that right, in my opinion, because you chose to do that. You put yourself out there. We didn't. We just want to know the truth. You don't want to tell us.
And part of the reason Brian's
And-
in jail right now, and part of the reason he pled guilty, has to be that mainstream media pressure that they were all participating in. So how dare they try to back away from that now and say they don't want to talk, or they don't want their names coming out. They have no right, in my opinion. But
Well,
my
that's
question
just-
is, what did Anne agree to? What exactly is Anne agreeing to with the state?
It's not so much with the state. I think it's just with their personal witnesses on her side, on their side of things, that certain witnesses they have that they want, like their names and phone numbers, and I think date of birth, it was addresses, stuff like that, redacted, so that people won't go to their homes and so on and so forth. And that's the same thing that the state is saying on their side of the documents. So they're both doing that. And they're also, one thing that both sides are doing is they don't want their work product put out to the world. They want that redacted as well. Meaning, the things they use to get to what they did in their side of the case. I didn't know Annie was live. Damn it. So also, I think that's a bit of a problem too. I don't know if that's the work product thing. That kind of bugged me a little bit, because I don't know why that should be redacted. If it just shows how you got to the point that you did within the case, I think that should be something that we should know. It would show us how you got your answer, and maybe how you got to Brian. That's part of this. Am I wrong?
I thought that would be part of discovery at least from the state, anyways.
That's my thought. Oh, okay, thanks, SRB. I didn't even see anything, but welcome, Sam. Didn't the state go and visit a witness for the defense and threaten her? Actually,
The FBI did.
The FBI was sent by the state to Gabriela Vargas after she had testified about what she does. They shut her down. She redacted her statements, and we've never heard from her again since then. That's witness intimidation. I'm sorry. That's illegal. Okay, but that's okay. Whatever.
I think there's a lot of reasons why a plea was offered.
There have been. And I think a lot of it is the threats, and some of it is because, there's people that have differing opinions on this. Like I said, I stick with where I'm at on it. I feel that they were backed into a corner, per se. And hold on. Did you read? No, I didn't.
The title of Annie's live is "Hitler Throws Us a Bone." So
What did he put out? Did you put out a response? When?
Well, that's what Annie's live is about. It sounds like Hitler might have told them to get bent. He's releasing all their names.
Do you have that response, or do you know where I can find the response, Tomboy? Because I didn't see any new documents when I looked this morning. I hope that he does say that. Now, some of this stuff, Jesse, in the reports were stated on both sides. There were certain things that were left up to the court to decide. Okay, they left it up to, because it was a court-based scenario. A lot of the stuff that was being redacted was also due to the leaker investigation that's ongoing, and they said that, if that were to come to a close, then it would leave open some fair trial type stuff.
I wonder if Tomboy is referring to that first document that you read last night, which was the order regarding requested redactions.
Okay, so then that would be okay. 1 second. What's up, Willie? Good to see you, buddy. Hold on a minute. Let me go to. Let me find it right here. Just 1 quick second. We'll get back to where we were in a minute, but this is kind of important. So I think that is what that is. I'm sorry. I must not have. I thought you meant there was something new, Tomboy, but here, I'll show you guys real fast. Okay, yeah. That's the order. Would be the first document right here. Okay. I'll read it to you guys that may not have been here last night or that didn't understand. Hold on a minute. All right, so this one is no. She's right. So I did read this. We did it last night. Like I said, I thought you meant something new, Tomboy. I'm sorry. Willie, the link is pinned at the top of the chat if you want to join us, bud. Before the court are the parties' respective responses to the order regarding sealed documents, which are the other two documents we went through last night. Both parties object to the unsealing of the names and contact information of the potential lay witnesses and expert witnesses identified in this case. They contend that some witnesses whose identities have been publicly revealed have been subjected to harassment, threats, stalking, and other concerning behaviors by the public and media. Although the defendant has now pled guilty and has been sentenced for the crimes, the parties note that the case remains subject to intense media scrutiny. Consequently, the parties anticipate that revealing the identities of the witnesses will constitute an unwarranted invasion of personal privacy as provided by IC 74124 and 7410117 and should be redacted pursuant to ICAR 32 I3A 135 and or 7. Okay. Willie, whatever, no problem. To best balance these articulated concerns against the public's interest in access to information, the court requests additional information with regard to each witness whose name and identifying information the parties would like redacted. The witness's role in the case. Okay, so let me read this one more time. This is what Judge Hippler is deciding on this, okay? It's an order. To best balance these articulated concerns against the public's interest in access to information, the court requests additional info, which he gave them another 14 days to do, with regard to each witness whose name and identifying info the parties would like redacted. The witness's role in the case. Okay, whether the witness's name is already publicly known, e.g. by known media, exposure or the release of other records such as police reports, and whether the witness has been subjected to threats or harassment, and if so, the nature of those threats and or harassment. So, in essence, what that tells me is, and that's a good point. I'm glad that you guys brought this back, or you brought this up, Tomboy, for me to reread this. Because I was dead tired last night. I wasn't even thinking straight. The second bullet point here is one of the most important to me. Whether the witness's name is already publicly known. Well, guess what? That's 90%. Hunter Johnson, Dylan Mortensen, Bethany Funk, and multiple other people. We have names already because they've gone to Dateline and stuff like you said, Jesse. If that's the case, then that right there in itself, I'm hoping what that means is that no, you can kiss my ass. You know what I'm saying? So that would be good. The witness's role in the case, so how important they are to the case and what they witnessed per se. And then, it says on the end of the second bullet point, it says, e.g. by known media exposure or the release of other records such as police reports, so on and so forth. Molly McMichael, anybody else that has, been in trouble with the police, that the reports have been released already. So basically anybody that has gone through and dealt with the media in any form, anybody that's given interviews out here or on mainstream, that's a no. So I'm guessing that's what Annie's meaning by, did he just throw us a bone? He's not going to allow them to redact those people because they're already out here, which makes perfect sense to me. And I about the time he did something good like that. You know what I mean?
I could see the experts for the defense wanting their names kept out of it because I could see them getting attacked needlessly. Like, I guess we know some of their names already, but whatever psychologists and people that we haven't heard their names, I would imagine that they don't need the publicity. It's not going to help them to be associated with a guy who's already pled guilty.
Right. And Tomboy says no. The bone is the alternate perpetrator statement. Okay, let me finish reading. I'm sorry. The following submission of this material, which is to be filed under seal, the court will review the information and either issue a written order or set the matter for hearing. Responses should be filed within 14 days. So, and then it says whether the witnesses have also been subjected to threats or harassment, and if so, the nature of those threats. So he's going to take that into account. And if they're just stupid little threats, I'm sure he's not going to care. Okay. If somebody's threatened somebody's life and things like that, if somebody says, "Oh, shut up, you're an asshole," or something, that's not going to matter. But if it's threatening somebody's life, then I guess they'll look into it. So, and that's the thing. We don't know the experts' names except for Cy Ray. And I hope that he's not redacted. I don't believe that he will be, because I don't think he wants to be. Okay. So if that's the case, and they're going to ask these people, from my understanding, do you have a problem with this? That's good, because I want to hear everything he's got to say. I want him to expose what he thinks this big issue is. So, and like Devil Woman just said, none of them are witnesses for BK's guilt. Like they said after the arrest, they were all like, who? Right. And then we also have the people that were subpoenaed from out of state and things like that. They've all been put out there. There's documents with their names on it that have all been put out through the news, so on and so forth. It's too late now. Sorry. And that's right, Jandy. We already know most of the people, and once again, we're not as dumb as they want to believe that we are. That's a fact. So that's that document right there, folks. And I didn't know what you meant by that whole thing about the alternate perp, Tomboy. I didn't see something else with that, or anything else with that state. So if you want to jump up here and explain that, please do.
I mean, he's already ruled that she wasn't allowed to introduce the alternate perps. So why would he allow those documents to come forward? Like, the whole point of not allowing that to come into the court would be so it doesn't reach the public. Doesn't it make sense that those would be the names that he'd want to redact? I mean, I'm not saying that I don't want to see them, but I could see him not wanting to show us.
Yeah, no, agreed. Well, because he said there was no basis for foundation.
But those are the individuals that have the most to lose, right? Like, you've been fingered as a potential killer. That's going to hurt your reputation. That's probably not okay for public viewing, really.
Right. Here, I'll show you real quick some of the names that won't be redacted. 1 minute. These people are all okay. They won't be redacted already. We know. Okay. And they're all law enforcement officers and or like medical staff. The medical examiner and my butt and all the rest of these people. These people won't be redacted. But again, there's also a huge list of people that we already know who they are. The news knows who they are. Every damn channel, Dateline and Nightline and 48 Hours and in all these other, places that these people went and did interviews, they all have them out there. So sorry for you. You know what I mean? I mean, it is what it is. And like you said in the beginning of this, you put yourself out there. Maybe you should have thought about that before, okay? And if you didn't want anybody to know who you were, you should have kept your mouth closed. That's all I'm saying. So,
can we backtrack a little bit to that guy who said he wore the ATF outfit, went into the crime scene, and it looked like everybody'd been shot up?
Yeah, we can.
So from my point of view, I would assume that they get calls like that like every day. I mean, the one that comes to mind is that Ashley Gilliard, who was tarot card, I don't know what she is, a psychic that said she had solved the crime. I mean, just the amount of people that we hear out here on YouTube and the people in the comment sections and the theories that are going on, I would imagine that tip line would be flooded with story, fantastical stories
Of course,
that don't make it into the court documents. And I'm just wondering what it is about that one that, you know, if that's the only fantastical story from some witness that made it in there, like why is it even in this paperwork? If it's, unless there's some basis of truth to it.
Well, I think they put a lot of stuff. Hey, Moonbreaker, they put a lot of stuff in here that has no basis to this case, no bearing on this case at all. But it was a drunk guy that called and spoke with the Latah County Sheriff's deputy, stated that this happened. It doesn't say exactly if it was him or if it was somebody that knew him. So I don't know. And like I said, my biggest issue with that whole statement, Jesse, is that somebody put on a jacket and a hat that says ATF on it. We have the Idaho State Police and Moscow PD on a crime scene. There's nobody else but this one guy wearing an ATF outfit. They know they did not contact ATF to bring them on board. It's kind of hard. And we also know that there's somebody standing at each front and back door with a list, letting people in and out, writing their name down. That's where I'm struggling with this, knowing like they let him in. That makes me think. Really?
And the only way I could see it happening is if it happened super early, because those guys that were letting Hunter Johnson roam around in there, they didn't seem too on the ball.
Or if it wasn't even super, and there's no time with it either that was given. So that's another issue I have. But if it wasn't super early, maybe after multiple people showed up, okay, and then people were busy and they weren't paying attention. But I still struggle because.
But I mean, isn't this a federal crime? I mean, impersonating an ATF agent, I would imagine, is like a pretty serious crime. So
big time, yeah.
So that would need to be investigated if this is true, right?
He gave a police officer's name who was not actually a police officer. He was he was a recruit that never made it out of the probationary program. So the kid didn't know anything, and I think they questioned him, and he said that he didn't remember. I think that's how that read. So that he wasn't a police officer. So I don't know if this is true, if it's just something somebody made up one night because he thought he was going to be funny. Because there's a lot of that happened in here. There's a lot of stupid statements that were given through the tip line. Yeah, it is definitely a real struggle. Hey, Jilly, good to see you. But it could be. We don't know because they've made dumb mistakes. We all know how many dumb mistakes they've made. So maybe it is true. Maybe somebody did slink in there. But if that's the case, then this is really bad, folks, because we have officers all over this crime scene, and you don't notice a guy walking in with an ATF jacket on and not say, hey, why are you here? You know, they backed Hunter up and got him out of there at some point. You're going to just let this guy come through without checking his credentials? Knowing that didn't
they have a car crash that came into the property and the car ended up like in the yard?
Wait, say again?
I believe there was a car crash shortly after the crime, and the car breached the police tape and ended up in the yard. So all of a sudden you've got this car with its occupants roaming around the crime scene on the wrong side of the tape due to a car accident.
Oh, see, I never heard of that. That's wild. I know they expanded
which he says
it's in the reports. It's in the reports. Okay. Did I read it already, or have I not gotten to it yet? The car rolled into the crime scene. Oh, wow. I don't remember reading it, so I'm sure I'll get to it then. That's nuts. But they also they expanded that crime scene because you guys remember the video we watched years ago where they show them in the back behind the house in the tree line. They're picking through stuff and picking stuff up, and they expanded that tape out further. They believe they found things back there too that went along with this too. So yeah, a car rolled into the crime scene. How the hell did a car crash there? Was it up on the hill or something? Oh, wait a minute. I do remember that now. That's right. That a car went down over top of I did read that. You're right. I remember now. It was in the Moscow reports. It went down over the hill because they were pushing it or something, and it went too far. And yeah, you're right. I do remember.
Whatever you do, Diego, don't sleep. You might miss something.
No. I remember it now. It was just so long back. But yeah, I remember that. They were pushing the car or some shit, and it rolled over the hill and down into the thing. But yeah. Yep, that's right. That's ridiculous. Like things like that, you know, when they saw that happening with that car there, if they were watching and paying attention, they should have stopped that right there before it even happened. So once again, just more impotence, or not impotence, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Incompetence.
Incompetence. I said impotence. Jesus Christ, guys, that's great. Incompetence in the investigation, as always, through the whole thing. Yeah, Witchy, there's a lot. That's why it was hard for me to think. I had to think back, and I'm trying to think while you're talking. I'm like going, now I remember it. So yeah. Welcome, Krista. Thanks for joining us, hon. How are you?
Let's share it real quick. Can you hear me?
I can.
Let me
Yeah,
share
it
it
said that the kid only turned the car off and then left taped it. Yeah, I remember now. It was in the Moscow reports, which were a lot more detailed than these, which is crazy to me because they seem to be that it seems to me that the MPD stuff was where more of the mistakes were made, and they're doing more of the redacting here in ISP stuff, but it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. What are you giving me there, Tomboy? Oh, so this is the state's response to the order regarding sealed documents. I read these, I thought, last night, didn't I? Yeah, these are the ones I read last night. And these are all the names that won't be redacted because they're law enforcement and stuff like that. Yep, I read all of those last night. Is there something in here about the... I must have, like I said, I was tired last night when I was reading, so I must not have absorbed it. About the alternate perpetrator. Unless that one was a typo. Was that the one I thought might have been a typo last night? Let me find it here. Hold on. One second. Like I said, I probably just didn't absorb what I was reading because I was real tired last night for some reason. Let me find it. I know it's in here because read the special investigation. Special amended exhibit. 1 second. Also, I want to know who YR is, TAD, and KCF, I think the names were. There it is. That's okay. So they're going to the court minutes for closed session read the motion concerning alternate perpetrators. So those are the court minutes. And it says the state has no objection to the unsealing of the court minutes regarding the closed session in relation to alternate perpetrators from 1:25 p.m. to 1:36:17 p.m. But it says that the state objects to the unsealing of the court minutes from that session starting at 1:36 to 2:07, which is probably where the meat of the sandwich is. You know what I mean? The state has no objection to the unsealing of the court minutes from the closed session from 2:07:44 to 2:36:47, with the request, once again, that the potential witness names at 2:35:45 can be redacted. Now, okay, thank you, Tomboy, for bringing my attention back to that. If that's the case, whoever that witness is, if that person's name is already out there, I'm sorry. Sorry for you. That's my thought. And that's what I'm taking that as. That's how his order worked. So I don't know if he's going to change that or not. But again, then it says the defense has something about the alternate perp too. I know I thought there was another part to this. 1 second here. Okay, the defendant's reply to the state's objection to defendant's offer of proof. Read the alternate perpetrators and defendant's evidence in support. Hold on. In support of offer of proof to read the alternate perpetrator. The state does not object to the unsealing of this item so long as, again, potential witnesses' names are redacted. So there, again, hey, Tomboy, welcome back. What's up?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
Hold on.
Did somebody drop out? Did Eddie fall out or drop out?
Okay, in that number 12 at the end, not the end, but it says the state objects to the unsealing of the court minutes from the closed session starting at 1:36 to 2:07, as it involves an ongoing investigative proceedings.
Right, the leak investigation thing, I believe.
This is about alternate perps. This is not about the leaks.
So what does that mean then?
That's what I don't know. But y'all can discuss it now because I'm gonna let Eddie back up here because I gotta go do some things. So, but I will let Eddie back up here now.
Okay. I guess that would be a separate investigation then. That's the only investigation I knew. That's interesting. You can come back up, Eddie. Sorry, bud. Well, okay. I'm trying to think. Hold on. See, that's what I thought it was too, because that's the only alternative investigation that I knew of. Unless they're talking about something different that we don't know about.
Have you guys already addressed the fake news about Hunter Chapin dating a couple of the girls?
Not really.
I saw that. I was like, I don't think,
but I didn't really get into it.
yeah, I don't know if he understands what relationship means. Like, I think when they say that, they mean
Yeah, I think it was just a relationship. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's not specified.
If you don't say romantic relationship, then it's
Yeah.
not specifically a romantic relationship.
Right.
At least that's what I'm assuming. Unless you really spell it out for me, then I can't really just jump to that conclusion.
Yeah, that's a little too far of a bridge, I think.
Well, like I say, it's hard. It's hard for me to discount anything in this case, just because what exactly is too wild?
Touche.
I mean, just listening to the body cam, the stories that Dylan and Bethany are telling, and everybody else. I mean, if you went back to day one before they even had a suspect, because I was here with Dago back then, and if you had told us the way this was going to play out this way, it would have sounded absolutely fantastical. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, I don't think we would have believed it, to be honest with you.
Well, I keep telling you, like I was watching. I found Lana around the Karen Reed trial, well, the very beginning of it, and I remember her saying, "It's Karen Reed on steroids," and I was like, "No way." She's like, "You have no idea. This was last year," and it just keeps getting more and more. But see, like I try to really give those two grace. I'm trying so hard to give those two grace and try to figure out what could have happened with the two surviving roommates. But then I'm still not discounting that Bumble truck isn't the other one. I don't want to say it, but you know what I mean. I'm not going to discount that because where did that one go? If it didn't leave, where did it go? Because I don't think we heard that one leave after
it shut off its engine at 4:30. It came around the corner 4:29. It pulled up and we hear it stop and then the engine turn off.
And that's it, right?
How long did it stay there? We don't know. Did it leave? Obviously it left because it wasn't there at noon, but when did it leave? Who was in it? Whose vehicle is it? And why did it stop there?
Do you think that three of them share that vehicle? Or did Ethan actually drive his Jeep?
No, that's a different vehicle. We proved that last night that one that's sitting there was not that vehicle. It's not that vehicle. That vehicle was there. It was in a document that it was there when Eric Gower picked them up and dropped them off, so on and so forth. And that's, because it's in the documents and we're going with that, but it's a different vehicle. So, and that's fine, but I still want to know, why was it there? Who was in it and why did they stop? And how long were they there for? What were they doing there? Did they pick people up, drop people off? And all of that stuff. I want to know why. You know what I mean? And then why at 4:30?
And if somebody had, well, you know what? Like they said, they could have. No, I don't know. I mean, how many SUVs souped up are there? You know what I mean? That would end up being at that house, or have to go there for any reason. I'm not souped up, but you know what I'm saying?
I mean, we don't know. We don't know who they know that could own that. But I swear it sounds just like the same vehicle that I had stated initially when I first saw that car, or SUV, whatever it is. It doesn't look like a Jeep to me, okay, in the video there, because it's more rounded, but it sounds like the same vehicle that we saw over on the Linda Lane footage. So
right.
I don't know if it is or if it's not, but it definitely has the same sound.
Didn't we see who got out of that though?
Do what?
Didn't we see who got out of that vehicle on the Linda Lane footage?
Not really. We saw somebody in one of the videos in Linda Lane, if I remember right, we saw somebody come and get into it. And then there was a whole argument, a stupid argument that there was somebody sitting in it already, blah, 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 blah. And there's not. One person got into the front seat of the car and they backed up and left. And that's, I think they were wearing a white shirt or a hoodie. But I have no idea who it belongs to, who it is. There was never a 100% identifier on who that is. So
how many could there be?
You know what I want to know is
welcome back.
What was going on with Kaylee and this whole revelation? I struggle with that sometimes. Revelation. that she well, it's better than impotence and incompetence.
I heard that.
You are not lying.
Dig, I was like, no. No.
Yeah, you're not lying. That was a bad one.
The revelation that Kaylee wasn't getting along with her parents, or hasn't been getting along with her parents and her siblings for a while, and that when she went to Coeur d'Alene or Rathdrum, I'm assuming Rathdrum and Coeur d'Alene are sort of one and the same, or nearby at least, but that she was actually staying with her aunt and her grandma and not her parents, and this whole idea that she was gone from 1122 King for weeks and had claimed that she had already moved out. And I mean, I said it before, like a week ago, that kids that are 21 years old that are in a sorority and they're playing beer pong, and that's when your whole life is those parties and that social circle, you don't just go stay with your grandma for 2 weeks. And you know what I mean? Unless maybe if you broke up with your boyfriend and you're depressed and you're like, you got to be going through something pretty major. Everything can't be on the up and up if you're going to step away from that lifestyle to stay at grandma's house or your aunt's house for a few weeks. Like, what was she hiding from? What was she running from? Because there was something that she was trying to get away from. And I don't think it was Jack, because she didn't seem to give a shit about Jack.
I mean, not worried about him anyway. Not worried that he was scary or abusive or anything like that, right? I mean, no.
Well, and she apparently was, seeing other guys. So it's not like she was all busted up about Jack. I mean, she
it seemed to me that she handled that pretty good. Jack was not handling it, but she did okay.
I mean, one of them. I mean, I could see if that was their first love.
I actually have a theory about that, Jesse. With you bringing that up, my theory. Okay, Miss Tandy, be good. We'll see you soon. My theory on the whole estrangement from family, and I guess she blocked Olivia on social media and Steve Jr.
Listen, there's 7 of us who do it all the time. Me and my brothers and sisters, we do it all the time.
I think that they were shoving Jack down her throat. We all know how much they liked him. They even gave the man a car to drive.
Oh,
and in the interviews we see, Christy says things like, "Oh, they would have got back together. They were going to get married, and this and that and everything else." And Steve is sitting on the end of the couch going,
"You don't listen to your daughter."
Like, are you nuts? So, yeah. I think that, and Olivia loved him, Olivia loved Jack. So to the point where I was almost wondering, like, does she have a thing for him? I know she was married and pregnant and all that, but they were so all about Jack, Jack, Jack,
Is,
Jack,
is she
Jack.
still married? There's
Yeah,
been some
she's still
rumors
married.
that she is still
She ain't
married.
leaving him. He
Olivia?
makes good money. He works for Paramount or Peacock or some shit like that.
Really?
Oh yeah, he's a producer for them.
Olivia's dude.
Her husband,
Olivia's
yeah.
husband. Oh, we'll have to check that out because that's where
But
Bravo's.
yeah, and so that's what I think that was all about, was that they were pissed off a little bit at her for break, because she initiated the breakup. She
Yeah.
was off to Texas. She was done with that situation. They were together since they were in high school, I believe, freshmen in high school, maybe, or something like that. But she was it was time to grow up. That relationship was a childhood relationship. She was moving on, becoming a woman, building a future, bought a new vehicle, was off to Texas, and she was done with everything. So, and Jack didn't handle it. And I get it. Guys are weaker than women when it comes to that kind of stuff. And that's normal. But she seemed to be okay with everything. She was moving on, and to me, I feel like they kept shoving him back down her throat. That's to be your husband. We love Jack, this, that, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And at some point she got tired of hearing it and said, shut up. If you're not going to support me, then I'm not going to talk to you, period.
I was
All right,
thinking
that explains why she might stay at her aunt's place
Yep.
instead of her parents' place. But
Yeah.
again, it doesn't really explain why you would take a step back from that lifestyle.
Didn't she just graduate though?
Unless she was hired, unless she was really, because she seemed to be, and she's been explained to be more mature than a lot of the rest of her roommates. And maybe she was just over it, Jesse. And like I said, if she was starting a new,
she was graduating, right?
She graduated the Tuesday after that, actually. Yeah.
Yes. So I mean, she was done. They still had a couple years left, right? Or a year left. The other roommates, or something.
Well, Maddie and her were the same, and I think.
Oh yeah.
No. Xana. No. Yeah. Everybody else was younger, I think, and they were still going to be going to school, and those two were graduating.
And maybe also her other job, maybe her parents didn't approve, maybe, or didn't think it was safe, or if all assumptions.
I have my own questions about Echo Shield. Okay, I don't. We went and looked into that a little bit, and something ain't right there, y'all. It's not, something's missing.
It's not abnormal, honestly, believe it or not. I was talking to Zach. He's 25. It's for them in college. They were doing stuff with this thing called Chatterbait and stuff. He told me how normal it is, OnlyFans.
I know that, but that's not what Echo Shield is labeled to be. That's supposed to be.
I know. Yeah,
a pest control company, but you see these kids going to Cabo San Lucas and all these other trips, and they're taking all these videos and photos, and
that's kind of what I was going to speculate is
sugar babies.
Yeah.
I could. And I mean, this seems to be the lifestyle that Kaylee was living is like what you're talking about, the vacations, the men, the money, a lot of money, a lot of men, and a lot of just living it up. And then you go stay. And at the age of 21, I was living a pretty nice lifestyle when I was 21 with a lot of money and a lot of this and that too. And I wasn't going to go to my aunt's house for 2 weeks. I love my aunt. I would visit her for an afternoon. I would go pick her up, take her out for lunch, and I would be getting drunk with my friends by 9 o'clock. You know what I mean? And I mean, everything that I've seen about any of these kids, not just Kaylee, but all of them, is, they would have things to do. And even if it was separate from, even if you wanted to get away from 1122 King, it sounds like there would be dudes that wanted to see Kaylee in that time, right?
I've said before, she was a very, very attractive girl, folks, and she was probably very sought after. And doing those extra special things to make that money, the one video we saw about the Echo Shield stuff, there's girls that are going door to door. They both look like Barbie dolls. They're dressed kind of tight clothes and all that stuff, And then the girl kind of describes something a little different than what you're expecting that they're going to be going to do. That's what I'm saying. We're thinking they're going door to door selling pest control. Well, no. Come on now. It comes out to be something different. So be it. It's not a bad thing in my opinion. Okay. I was doing wild things, like I said, back at that age until I had a child, and I would lock myself down. But
and the other thing is her parents weren't honest about that. They made it in that interview with Chronicles of Olivia. they never said anything about Kaylee staying with her aunt and her grandma. I
Not
mean,
at all.
they
No,
made it sound, we were always sort of misled into
completely.
believing that she was staying with her parents.
Completely.
And one of the reasons they might want to do that, no, I mean, yeah, maybe because they didn't want you to know they were fighting with her, or maybe because she was working, you know,
Mhm.
not visiting the aunt, but working.
There's a few things about
True.
all of that stuff that bug me, and I don't know why it seems so important to me, but it's just weird things that were going on the night of the murders. That Kaylee's dad goes in at 3 a.m. and changes his job title out and all this other stuff. And
What?
why are you doing things like that? And then ends up in the emergency room for some reason that same night. And I don't know, you guys. There's little things. I'm not saying that it's any involvement or anything. It's just these little things about their life that are popping out that it's like, why did this happen? Why did that happen? And it's
It's
coincidental.
weird, and the timing is weird.
The timing. Yes, thank you. A lot of these things. And then now finding out that she was absolutely not okay with her parents for a while there. And why? Possibly. I think it's because of that. That's my opinion, but that's what I think based on what I've seen. Christy was not hearing that her and Jack were not going to be together. Period. Neither was Olivia.
Well,
Steve
and they
could care
don't
less.
want to paint. They don't want to paint a picture that their family was
Not
anything but
perfect.
perfect.
Yes.
True. That's what it seems like. Yep.
And they were far from perfect. That's the big problem. Okay. They were like anybody else in the world. They had their issues. Nobody's perfect. We knew that. We know that. We will always know that. So be it. They didn't want their personal private information out. That I understand.
Yeah.
But don't let us believe something else when it's actually this way. So
Also, too, like Jesse, did you ever, like, when you moved out, right now, when you had to move back home, like, it just say, like, when you did not want to move back to your parents' house, like, you go anywhere but there. Like, I know when, like, I went back a couple times and I was like, I would have rather have gone to my aunt's or my grandma's because I just didn't want to go back home. It didn't feel. It was just. I don't know.
It was different. It was different for me because I was the oldest, and my parents were split up, so it would have been my mom's house, and I would have kind of run the show. I would have, if I went back to my mom's house, I would have been like, running the show. So it was pretty comfortable for me to go back to my mom's
I moved
house.
out at 17 and I went and lived with my aunt for about 3 months, and then I was out. I had my own apartment when I was a senior in high school. I was doing my own thing, and I never, ever have gone back to my parents' house ever. Okay. So I couldn't do it because I didn't get along with my parent. Well, my mother. My dad was cool, but I never got along with my mother because she wanted me to be Mr. Perfect, this, that, dress a certain way, do this, do that. Well, no, sorry. It's my life. And I was stubborn. Now, some of the things she wanted, I wish I would have listened to back then, but I had to learn the hard way. It is what it is, and I've learned. I think I've become a better person because of that, but still, that's besides the point. But yeah, I get it. She's and it states right in when they describe Kaylee, she's a very independent person. She wants to experience everything. She will argue to the death that she's right about things, so on and so forth. So in turn, that reminds me of somebody else I know. Well, 2 other people I know that she's related to. Actually, I'm going to guess 3 other people that she's related to. Her sister,
just like them,
and both her parents. So that would probably be like throwing fire and gas in a bowl and watching what happens. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, me and my dad are the same person, and we are. I have 4 parents. I have step parents too, but like they've been since I was very, very, very little. But they're all sociopaths. But like, and generally, like me and my dad are the same person, and we can't be together for more than a half hour. And it's like sober, or we got sober together, and we're just too much alike. And I didn't want to go back home anyway. I don't want to say go back home because I didn't buy a house or anything. I just tried to get my own apartment a couple of times, went back home. But like, she's probably not newly, mature, not mature. You know what I'm saying? Like, she just graduated college, right? You got your own nice vehicle. You're making good money. The last thing you want to do is go live back at your parents.
She did everything on her own too. There was no support from her parents. They made sure they clarified that she paid for all her own shit. She got the car herself. Her grandmother gave $1,000 down payment. I think that was a gift. Okay.
Right.
And that was my understanding is that was like a promise to pay the other $6,500 that she was going to pay from how I understood that. And it was actually put back on the credit card after she made the down payment, blah, 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 until the Gonsalves decided to keep the Range Rover, and then they took it back. But still, hey, Kat,
Did
good
they
to see
keep her
you.
car? Did they have who drives her vehicle? Anyone? Or
Right. Her dad, from my understanding, because he was driving it around on the one day that they were out celebrating her birthday, going different places and doing different things. So yeah, that's how I understood it. But the point is she's very independent. Okay.
Yeah.
And she didn't want them. She didn't need them. And says in the thing that her closest family member she listed as Maddie Mogan.
What a
So
shame.
that says something to me. Okay.
Yeah. It makes me it makes me a little sad for them, because if they were on bad terms and this happens, that's the hardest. Like, that's just, I don't know. It seemed like Steve and her were kind of talking, but like maybe because maybe she just didn't tell everybody her business, and she didn't need to tell anybody that she wasn't getting along. Like maybe they just thought they weren't getting along, and then recently they were. Who knows? But I just feel like what a shame that her and Maddie were so close. And they probably would have stayed close. They probably would have raised their kids together. It makes me really sad. And I just really hope.
Remember the story.
Hmm.
The story is Dylan going back there to summon Kaylee from.
Right.
I mean, the way they described it. I mean, it might be worth viewing that interview again. But I thought Christy said Dylan came here, and I mean, made it sound like she came to her house to get Kaylee.
She didn't. She went to her aunt's house. She went to her aunt's house because that explains, you guys, why her aunt was involved in that one interview as well, and some other statements that were made that would explain that now.
Okay, that aunt, the aunt on the other side of the house, right?
And that would also explain maybe why the Gonsalves, not that they shouldn't take it hard, but why they have taken it so hard too, because that whole estranged situation could have been a problem. They hadn't been to visit her at that place at all, from my understanding, in the one report I read and things like that. And I was like, that's
awful.
But doesn't it just think to high heaven that Dylan's going to go? Like, unless I was starting to wonder, like, was Dylan maybe going to apologize to Kaylee? Like, was it an olive branch thing? Like, because it doesn't seem like they're friends at this point. After seeing the body cam videos and reading the documents and hearing what they have to. The fact that she can't even say Gonsalves, she called her Goncalves, didn't she?
No, Goncalves. I mean,
they weren't friends. They weren't in the same circle of friends. They didn't. They just lived together. They didn't even know each other.
It just seems hard to believe that Dylan would travel to Rathdrum to summon Kaylee as a friend, like
as a friend date or something, right?
Yeah, the friend. It doesn't seem like that happens in a friendly way as a friend. It seems like that could be, listen, I'm sorry we got in a fight last week. I'm sorry that you left the house. I'm sorry that you feel like you can't stay there. Maddie misses you. We're having a formal tonight. I just wanted to come and let you know that everything will be fine and we could put it behind us, and Maddie would like to see you, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
But of course, that's not what we were told. We were told that Dylan came to invite her to a formal, which she was never even supposed to attend in the first place. And that was a lie from everything I can see now. Yeah. And anytime you see a lie, you got to try and figure out why. What is the motivation to lie? And
did they go to the formal? Did they go to the formal, JC? Did they even go?
I think so. Didn't they go?
Not according to Lana.
Yeah, there was there's talk that they never did, that they just ended up having a party that Friday night, which we know they did at their house.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So they never went, and it made you wonder.
What?
Like Jesse said, why did you go get her? And everybody's always wondered, why did you bring her? And I'm going to say the word. Why did you lure her back here?
I was just going to say, I think she was lured back.
Yeah, me too. Because somebody was saying, and I hate not to read it off of here, but somebody was saying she was out the next night on camera, just partying. Dylan was out, or 2 nights later, and she was.
Yeah,
she was.
And I'm like, what the? And the way that you were on that impact statement, it looks like like that never ended.
They weren't friends. They did not know each other like that. They all just lived in the same house together. So
I
So it
think
was
there were moments, Dago, but as far,
really
like you say, like as far as running in the same circle, maybe not, because they weren't in the same sorority, were they?
Nope.
It was Xana. Was it Xana and Maddie that were in the same sorority?
Yeah.
And then Dylan and Bethany?
Um,
Or Dylan was in a sorority and then
and Bethany
Kaylee
and
was in
Kaylee,
another one.
yeah, that's what it
Bethany and
was.
Kaylee? Okay.
I don't quote me on that, folks, because I forget so much. But the point is Xana, Kaylee, and Maddie, none of them were in their sororities anymore at that point because of one of them was because of Xana's was because of the $1,000 fee. And there was other issues that were going on with the sororities that they were just uncomfortable with, and
Well,
they
yeah,
got
and
out.
Kaylee and Maddie, because they were being charged so much money to stay there, but that said they couldn't stay there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh,
I do too, Noni. Questioning Dylan being a freshman in a sorority and allowed to live in off-campus housing. See, I thought that was a no-no. I always did. So,
yeah, they had to live in the sorority.
especially a freshman. You know what I mean?
So that was weird.
It's still very strange. And there's a lot of things about Dylan that are coming to the surface, like I said, that
Yeah.
we've learned, and we're learning more and more and more. And it just makes me trust her less and less. So,
Well, I think Dylan was involved in a whole bunch of stuff that 19-year-olds should not be involved in.
well, and that's the thing is
cleaning up a
Dylan.
murder.
That's part of the thing there that tells you the friend circles. Okay, Dylan was friends with people that Kaylee would never even look at twice. Okay,
Yeah.
they were dark and dirty people, and the things that they did and went on. Yeah, no.
Well,
Okay,
it makes me think that Dylan was the type of girl in high school that like partied all the time. You know what I mean? Like I just think of her as like a major like party goer that still kept up with her grades maybe. Just very like a very like good kind of like good at everything she does type of thing.
Hmm.
I don't know about the grades though. I'd like
Well,
to
maybe
see that.
not the grades, but like just an acting like acts mature but isn't really, you know what I mean?
She
Yeah, and
seems
then
dumb.
Xana was in a circle of
But
those
I don't-
people. Was in the same circle of people too at some point, and that was one of the big things is that because when Ethan got with Xana, she pulled away from that group and that the stuff she was involved in and was doing so much better. They kept saying, and she had been changing and all this for the good. Well,
Because she was heading down the wrong path, I do
she was in the
believe.
group of people that were doing the
And Ethan,
Emma Bailey, and people like that. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
And Ethan
So,
kind of took her away from that, and she kind of brought
yeah.
Ethan out of his shell.
Mhm.
You know, I've been known to be a little bit insensitive with my comments,
Not
but
you. No,
it,
not you.
No
is
way.
it just me, or for 24 years old, do most of these kids just look like absolute hell?
A lot of them, yeah, they do.
I,
Well,
I think even Dylan, if you compare Dylan to the photographs of when she was 19 in this house, and now I guess Dylan would only be 23, 22 now, 22, 23. I mean, she looks, they look like 30-year-olds to me, almost all of them.
well, I mean, stress and whatever you're involved in, partying, all. I mean, guys, every damn report we've written one more time, every report I've ever read, there's somebody talking about how drunk they were and how drunk these people were and how drunk those people were and how drunk this person is and how much beer was drank and how much this. And then we see the videos of the house. Jesus Christ. I mean, I partied too, but not every damn day. Okay.
And they're doing coke and like, I mean,
they're doing other things. Yeah. There's other things involved, and college life has gone like way out there somewhere. And there's a lot of, it's been proven, folks. Like I said, the very beginning of this,
what would I cannot.
There's multiple. Thank you, Eddie. There they are.
What would cause them
Alpha
to
Phi, Alpha. I don't know how to say these, you guys, but there they are.
Alpha
Phi, Pi Beta, Pi Beta Phi, and Pi Beta Phi.
Maddie was Pi Beta Phi.
And Pi Phi.
Dana was Pi Beta Phi. Okay, and Dylan was Pi Phi.
Pi Phi.
Thank you.
It's just
But
such a
anyway, like I said,
time.
they were involved in things that at our ages we were doing stuff, but we weren't doing that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's known that the multiple other investigations on campus that are going on, the fraternities and sororities and the drugs that are being funneled through here. Okay, that's a real deal. That's a
Yeah.
bad thing.
Yeah.
And it's just real. There's no two ways about it. And we know that that area is really bad, not just the campus,
Right.
but within the whole vicinity. I mean, Jesus, Xana's parents, Maddie's parents, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
I
where I'm
know.
at with this in some
Is it-
senses. I'm
Is
truly
it true?
at this
Like
point.
that all their parents were in trouble at one point at the same, or every one of their parents had been or in trouble or were getting in trouble for something.
Well, Kara was arrested for drugs
Kara
like
for
days
A.
after Xana was. Oh, hold on, let me remember this.
But tell me his
Kara was
parents were.
arrested just days after Xana was murdered, and then Maddie's stepmother and father, they were in trouble.
Laramie's.
You know, no. That's her mom and her
Ben
stepdad.
Mogan.
Ben and his wife, yes. They were in a lot of trouble, same as Kara, before Maddie was killed. So they had cases going at the same time that this happened. Now the Laramies and the Gonsalves and the Chapins, maybe not, but that's still coincidental to me, a little too coincidental. And I've been following that angle with this the whole time, okay, because it is kind of important in my opinion. I'll just say.
Yeah. This is grown-up crime. This is like not you didn't just go rob a bunch of kids. Like this is a grown-ups crime. Like this is some grown-up shit that.
And Kara, by the way, folks, I read it 3 days ago. Kara's statement says a lot to me, where she states it better not be Xana better not have been murdered because of what was it? What is Kara saying there? And I think I know.
That's right. The reading.
You know, that it tells its own story in that aspect to me. That's all I'm saying.
I would like to continue with my theme of being insensitive, but I think we've understated it a little bit with all the parents. I think all the parents, there's reason to believe that all the parents were involved in something sketchy. Even the Chapins, their behavior to me is super sketchy. But in a different way, nothing to do with drugs, but
rich people stuff.
Well, they seem to love money and power and influence in the university. The idea that they're gallivanting around, holding hands with the middlemans, and
why do you think? That's probably one of the reasons why their kids went back to that school. I'll just put it that way.
I can't believe they went back there.
And I saw that she posted on Twitter, Stacy Wells Chapin. Is that does she commonly use her maiden name when she's referring to herself?
I've never heard that. I've
never heard Stacy Wells Chapin.
Okay, well, that was what I saw in the advertisement with the middlemans, and I thought, now that is weird. Like all of a sudden you want to refer to yourself as with your maiden name, like what's going on? But I won't read too much into that. But I will say that aside from all the parents being sketchy, I will emphasize Ben Mogan and Kara, maybe not now, maybe, but in the past, they weren't just in trouble. They were
in deep trouble.
Serious addicts. They look like zombies.
I'm almost positive they became CIs, folks. That's just my opinion, but I'm almost positive at that.
If you're still alive or not in prison and you're still doing drugs and you're our age, you're either a CI or you're dead or you get clean. You don't.
Well, any drug bust that happened in this area, they rolled them, every one of them almost, into being a CI. So,
right.
That was their drug court thing and all that other stuff. So each one of these people did this. And so, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to date myself here. But you guys remember the movie Boys in the Hood?
Yeah.
Of course. That was one of my favorite movies for years.
You remember the dude, the crackhead that's selling cheeseburgers?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that Ben and Kara were in that kind of shape at one point.
They were at some point, yes. And Kara was in a very bad place too for a long time. I'm glad to see that they've all climbed out of that. And it's sad that they had to deal with this at that
I
point in
mean-
time as well.
But you remember what the guy with the cheeseburgers was willing to do.
Of course, I know,
so
and I don't. That's
put two and two together, right?
I get
I
it.
mean,
No, 100%.
yeah.
Yep, absolutely. So, that's kind of where I'm leaning with this case, folks, as to why the only issue that I have, and maybe it's not an issue anymore, is what the cover up is. Is it
Right.
because they're protecting the college and the other people that might be involved that are related to the college? That's what I think. But I think that it is related, as we've been thinking for a long time, is drug related.
It
Okay.
has to be.
And
mean,
that
there's
would
no-
be and the drug thing would be more of a personal thing than
Right. You're actually setting it.
like
You're making a
more
statement.
of a personal attack.
It's been stated that we just talked about it. These people were
Mhm.
arrested. Their children go to the school. They know where their kids are, and there's things going on, and obviously these people did something to get out of their trouble. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And when they did,
Mm-hmm.
that might have pissed somebody off. Well,
Mm-hmm.
they were being watched by law enforcement. Nobody could go at them, at Ben and Kara and all that. They were being protected and watched because of who they were working for, per se. So nobody can attack them. So what's the next best thing to do to hurt somebody?
To hurt their kids.
Your kid. Yeah.
And that's why that makes sense to me. Okay.
So Xana could have seriously been a target because of.
And I've thought that for a while now. Truly, I have. It's sad, and I feel horrible for the parents because, you don't think when you get yourself into trouble, and you still love your kids, you still have your kids,
Right. Yeah.
and you don't think that your trouble is going to involve your children ever in your life.
No.
But things happen, folks, and it's a bad situation. These are the type of people you don't want to piss off. Okay, that's why I'm saying, and I've been following this for a while, and a lot of them, Bill Thompson, they know these people. Okay, and if it comes out that that's what happened, and these people were working for Bill Thompson and Moscow police, how's that going to look?
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Let's not forget Kaylee's uncle. Just
yeah.
in case you guys thought the Gonsalves was a straight family.
Yeah,
What
it's
about
true.
Dylan's
That is
boyfriend?
true.
Wasn't he involved in some stuff, or his parents, or something?
He's in prison.
So Walter?
He killed somebody. They're her uncle, Steve's brother, is in prison for killing somebody, and he's part of the Aryan Brotherhood. So
Yeah.
I mean, not that that's a bad thing. That's their business. But there's hey, Bobby. How to hurt someone in the worst possible way. That's it right there, folks. Period.
Yeah.
So, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to piss these people. And there's so many of these people. Look, Molly McMichaels.
But for that though, like, don't you think that if it was somebody in the drug world that they would have had to have, like, how do I say this? It would have been a complete, like, how did they know that, like, well, they were probably, I mean, they could have been spying on him or whatever. Like,
how'd they know
knowing,
how they know what?
like, how they know when they were home, how they know who was in the hat, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, I'm gonna tell you something too. Don't forget something. The frats and sororities, how do you think they get their drugs into the campus? These kids work for them, okay? They give them free drugs, they give them money, they do this, they do that. And like, hey, do you know such and such? Oh, yeah, I know her. Where's she live? Oh, okay. Yeah, she lives there. Why? Oh, don't worry about it.
And they get
Get 'em
their
addicted, they get
information very nonchalantly.
They don't. Yeah, that's all they got to do. Here's a bag. Where's such and such live?
Here you go.
Get close to this person. Things like that. I mean, it's not that hard,
Yeah.
So
if they want to turn you, they'll bust you, and they'll make you a CI. They'll make you. Yeah.
That was the thing too, Ranger. That was part of it. We also saw a document reading that there was murder at some point somewhere too. So, I'm just saying, like, I believe in the end, it all comes back to sadly that one thing. And I'm not blaming it on the parents or anything like that, but that's a bad world to get involved in because these types of things can come out of a situation like that. Tomboy's been screaming for forever how bad this area is. Molly lives here and says how horrible it is.
You guys, okay. Oh, okay.
Okay. She knows. They know for a fact, and it's been that way. Tomboy said it's been that way since she was young. That's where she's from. Okay.
I mean, it's not that much better over here. I mean, everywhere's bad. Like we have like.
Okay, but there's some places that are bad.
Yeah, it's bad,
And
bad.
That's a hub. Okay, think about it. It
Oh,
borders.
it's a border.
It's a border
borders
town.
Canada and all sorts of different places. So it's a hub. Period.
Oh man.
And there's 2 campuses right there. Think about that. Okay.
Oh man. 2 of them.
It's a 2-for-1 type scenario. So,
And
by the way, welcome.
They're gonna make a statement, and they're gonna make sure that nobody ever.
One thing I've said from the beginning, and I know you guys remember this, JC and Jesse especially. I know Krista, you'll probably get it too, though. But the first time I covered this, I said 4 people with a knife. That's super personal. That's sending a message.
Yep.
If you wanted this, if this was a hit, okay, like a hit.
Yeah.
They'd have went in and shot them all and been done. Out the door you go. End of story.
Yeah.
This was writing and sending a message to specific people, in my opinion, and it always was. So I've always thought that.
Especially if they're looking.
And Dylan knows more than she's saying.
Dylan knows. I think Dylan knows everything, in my opinion, at this point, from what we've seen.
Yeah.
Understand that Dylan's brother or Dylan's father and or her boyfriend at that time, they're involved in some of this stuff. These people too.
She knows that life,
which would explain why she wasn't touched
and why she's just like, there's no tear. I mean, imagine a normal person that doesn't know that life is going to be it's going to be worse, like Bethany almost. Dylan, there's no snot coming out. There's no.
If you get a phone call, let me just say this: what if you got a phone call that said, "Hey, either don't be home, or if you are, stay in your room. Sorry. If you hear some ruckus going on about this time and that time, and you mind your business." You understand?
Yeah.
And the story. Yeah. Just as much as can you go get Kaylee and bring her back down here? It's no big deal, but we're gonna scare him a little bit because of certain situations and give him something to think about. Well, and Kim, Jesse, and JC, you were here. Kim said this was not what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be a shakedown, or something like that, and it went too far. Well, I'll be damned.
I know.
I believe it. Okay, I think it was supposed to be.
The prank went real life.
Yeah, it was a shakedown. They were going to scare some people into like close your mouth or whatever, and it got deep, real deep.
I keep going to the same principle though, and that's I can't pin it on Dylan and Bethany or just Dylan because they're all working together. I mean, nobody's skeptical. Everybody's backing up Dylan's story 100%. And I mean, like we've said many times, it feels like if their story is correct, they threw Hunter Johnson under the bus by calling him up, making him, and the whole Hunter's a hero thing. I mean, unless Hunter's a complete moron, he should be sitting there thinking, what the, you brought me to the scene of a murder and made me the guy that's, put me in the line of fire. Like, the fact that he's okay with that suggests that he's cooperating to me.
Boyfriend's father, I think we were trying to say. I think.
Oh, sorry, Phil. My mouth was going faster in my brain again. So I didn't mean Dylan's father was her boyfriend. Dylan's father and her boyfriend is what I was trying to say. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
And thanks for being here, Phil. Texas and the medical examiner said
weren't relevant. What?
But she's talking to Texas and said the medical examiner said blood tests went. Yeah, my butt said that the toxicology reports were not relevant. I'm sorry, but they were, and I'm gonna tell you, there's lies there. We pulled last year. We pulled up the state document that shows what has happened in the state. Okay, and the deaths in certain areas of the state, and we pulled up Latah County. There were 4 deaths listed there at that time, and it showed whether drugs in the system, illicit drugs in the system or not. 3 of the deaths. There was only 4 at that time, folks. Okay, that's it. Right. Those 4. That's it.
Right.
And it said 3 of those individuals had illicit drugs in their system. 3 out of 4. Now they're telling us in this generic report that there was none. You're lying. Stop. Okay, you're trying to protect it. That's fine, and you're trying to protect their you know, the way
Innocence.
the way people look at them. But don't know, folks. We know that they were innocent, that they didn't deserve this. Okay, we don't
Right.
need to know that from your side of things. Tell us the truth, because that tells a story and leads into this, in my opinion. That's all I'm saying.
Right. They don't want people to go, oh, they're bad victims, or they're not good
Right.
victims.
What's up, Offie?
Were
This
they?
is-
It's like, were they just drinking at the corner club? Like, were they?
I'll be right back. Keep talking.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Maddie and Kaylee were bad kids by any means, but I don't think they were perfect either. Were they just drinking at the corner club? Like, and you can't sit there and tell me that at a frat party that they weren't doing more.
Right. When I was
I
talking
mean,
to Zach, like he's 20. Sorry.
yeah, and then, you know, Dylan and Bethany, what were they doing that night? Like, they weren't home. Because Jesse, do you remember, were they home? Was Dylan and Bethany home before everyone else? Is that
It's supposed to be the story, as far as I
okay?
understand it.
Okay, yeah. Because I wonder what they were doing. Because
Watching Vampire Diaries, or
yeah,
Baby Daddy and Vampire Diaries prior to everybody else coming in.
getting home. Yeah. So I want. I mean, I don't know what they were, you know, doing, but I mean, they were. At least Dylan was set. You know, said she was drunk. I mean, it's known that she was.
I mean, like Zach, he's 25, so he went to Temple, and when he was in college, I found out some things that I was so shocked. I was shocked, and then I find out how normal it is for the thing, like what everybody was doing. And I'm not saying I'm not condoning it, but like just how accepted being on those sites are and making money, and like they're almost proud of you because you're making your own kind of, you know, you're paying your own way through school and stuff like that. Like, and I don't think people would go after her for that, so if that's what she was doing for a job.
Well, look at those two right now that you got going. Lily Phillips and what's the other one's name? The 1,000 Dudes chick. Can't remember her name.
Oh,
There's two of them, and they're both, you know, making an awful lot of money and getting an awful lot of attention, and that's got to be awful tempting for. It's kind of like for dudes. For dudes, it's like you watch a show like Boys in the Hood, or you saw some of these gangster movies, and these guys are selling rugs, and you know they're driving fancy cars. I mean, when I was a kid, we watched Goodfellas. We thought, man, that looks like the life. We want to be like that. I mean, we didn't really want to like stab people in the back of an Oldsmobile, but we wanted to maybe sell a few bags of pot and
some
and
street
you know,
cred.
yeah, get some.
You want to know you want to know what show I was absolutely obsessed with and who my absolute hero was? My favorite show in the world was Beverly Hills 90210. My absolute favorite character was Valerie Malone. Okay? Like, she was a
So you
badass, okay? Like,
pretty straight, were you?
what?
That sounds pretty harmless.
Yeah,
Beverly Hills
absolutely.
90210.
Absolutely.
JC wants to go to the Peach Pit. We're going to the Peach
When
Pit.
is
The opposite of Goodfellas and Lily Phillips and
now you're talking my stuff. Good
What's
fellas and
that
all
other
those
chick?
are my shit.
King of New York with Christopher Walken. If there's a dime bag sold in the park, I want my cut, was the famous line.
Oh yeah, yeah. All them movies, that one, Donnie Brasco, all that's my stuff, folks. I love that stuff. But
I was the same age as like
definitely nothing like 90210 or Head of the Class, or what the hell was the other one? Zach Morris, which I love.
Saved by the Bell.
Saved by the Bell. See, look, JC lit up. There it is.
No,
Yes.
well, this was like our Saturday afternoons. Remember, every Saturday.
Yep, I loved it.
Every day
one.
after
Oh,
school.
actually, I'm sorry. I liked it because I liked the girls that were in it. Of course, you know, Jesse and what the hell was Tiffany Amber Thiessen? What was her?
Yeah,
character?
Tiffany Amber Thiessen was also Valerie Malone in 90210.
That's right. Okay, so yeah, I had a crush on
her. Remember Welcome Back, Cotter?
Oh
God,
that's
now you're
even
throwing
too
our
old
ages
for
out
me.
there.
That's way too old for me.
Yeah,
you must have been watching reruns, Krista.
Mm-hmm.
I was pretty young, Krista, when that came out. So you had to have been. Oh,
well, I grew up with MASH. Like my dad watched MASH growing up.
And I loved MASH.
Yeah,
I love
MASH.
MASH.
Yeah,
my mom watched
MASH. It was
MASH.
really good.
And Didn't you say something about Bob Newhart? Or what was the show? What was it?
Newhart. My cousin played on that show. Yeah, Tom
Yeah.
Poston. He played the guy that. Well, he always played the handyman with the overalls on. He even played it in a new
What was
show.
the name of the show? Was it Newhart? Okay, yeah.
Newhart, not the old one. Bob Newhart, the new one, Newhart.
Oh, okay. No, I mean, I'm the same age. I think I'm the same age as Dago. I'm like 20.
Anyway, we got way out in left field on this today.
Sorry.
Sorry, my fault.
That's all right. Frasier, I can't stand that one. Never liked that show. I'm sorry, Gaia. No offense, but that was so dry and dull to me.
He's horrible.
Kelsey Grammer. The only time I liked Kelsey Grammer was when he was on Cheers. I love Cheers, but
Oh yeah.
His ex-wife is the housewife on. Well, was the housewife on Beverly Hills. That makes
yeah. Yes, that's what it was. This is my brother Daryl. Or hi, I'm Daryl. It's my brother. Wait, my name's Larry. This is my brother Daryl. My other brother Daryl. Yes. That's what it was.
Daryl. Yeah.
Anyway,
When did the Daryl? Sorry.
oh yeah, American Psycho was a good one with Christian Bale, and that's what supposed Brian's favorite movie. So,
Oh, well.
that's what it says in the one report. But those I bypassed all of those Brian bashing reports because they're ridiculous.
Yeah.
Duke Boy. Oh my God.
still-
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Dago, do you still think that I don't know if you still think this, but I do still think that there's a possibility that he could be involved somehow. I just,
Not
if
me.
I'm, yeah, I know. I'm getting further
You're
and further from it,
You're good.
but
And I respect that, JC. I really do. And I see why people could think that. But the more of this I read, the more of this I look at, the body cam video, the photographs, all of that makes me
Pointing everywhere but Brian.
There's nothing I can find that he would be attached to with this at all.
If it wasn't
Yeah.
for I would think so too. If it wasn't for the cleanup, then I would think he could. But that right there just shows that there's and nobody mentioned the dog barking and the dog was going nuts. She never mentioned
His car's not there. That's not his car. That's none of that.
Yeah.
That's not him. So what?
Like, where is he?
How is he there? How did he do this if he's not there? You know what I mean?
And how did nobody see him? Nobody saw him. You know what I mean?
And at this point, you got to seriously question: was this even done with a K-bar? I honestly don't know.
well, yeah.
I've wondered
After
that too,
everything
Betsy.
is,
I'm highly skeptical that a K-bar was ever involved in this crime.
Well, I told you guys years ago that I thought that there was a machete involved. Remember that?
mm-hmm.
I've always thought that because of the types of wounds and stuff and how deep and bad they were. You know, a 7-inch little K-bar blade, I can't believe did that.
Yeah,
So
you gave us a prime example. You actually showed us a K-bar.
I showed
And-
multiple weapons and said, this is how this would work. That's how this would work. And to get deep wounds, severing a liver and things like that, like,
Yeah.
I can't imagine that little 7-inch blade did that. That's my problem. So
To all those people, all those
the
times.
poor people, right?
I mean, I was
It
looking at
just-
a crime scene of one person getting, and that was bad. That looked bad. I was like, oh, I'm like, that's just one person, and there's
Yeah.
And
I
Kaylee's
mean-
got 34 stab wounds. Dana has close to 50.
Oh God, that's
You know
a
what I mean?
long-
Like, that's a lot, guys.
It probably takes 7 minutes just to do 50 of them.
And there's definitely more than one weapon and more than one person. I'm absolutely stuck on that now.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
The after stuff, I'd be like, I could maybe deal with. They're not. I don't think.
I
they're
just don't understand how they didn't. I mean,
how did they
I
not
guess the fact that there was no other DNA in his car, his home, his apartment, or his other home,
get- nothing.
is it kind of stirs me. And no, he's not involved. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know if he,
Too, like,
is it possible that he could be involved indirectly though?
Yeah.
Dago.
I don't think he has
Anything to do with it?
nothing. He didn't know these people. They didn't know him.
We still don't have a link. We still don't have a motive.
Nobody was on his tail at all. Nobody. They were all on other. They were going down other alternate suspects. You know what I'm saying? They were.
And Bill Thompson and Gilbertson and Payne have said themselves
Nothing.
that they look in every aspect they possibly could find, and there is absolutely zero connection between these people and Brian Koberger. So
And we
how?
can't put him in the house.
They steer us away from ever asking him anything. Don't let him talk. Don't let him talk.
They've debunked everything. They said that he was not in the Mad
house.
Greek. He did not connect to the Mad Greek internet server, whatever the fuck it was. Sorry. that he never
Wi-Fi.
connected to the modem at the house. He was never at the house. He was never in the house. His car, there was, I mean, nothing. There's no connection to Brian Christopher Koberger with any of these people, this house, this crime, anything. He didn't know any of these people.
One thing that defense attorneys should pay attention to is this should be a lesson in thinking twice before surrendering your right to a speedy trial, because if you can imagine if this actually went to trial back then, before he surrendered his right to a speedy trial, the state had nothing. And everything they have now, they didn't have then.
Right.
It would have been done.
tell you,
It
I
would have
think
been
the
done a
reason
long
why-
time
They might
ago.
have even dropped the charges before it went to trial. They might have just said, "Hey,
I think Brian is so innocent of this that he knows, or I'm sorry, let me rephrase this, that at that time he thought, which is why he waived the speedy trial, which is why he said, I can't wait to be exonerated, blah, 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 so on and so forth, because he really thought and believed in the judicial and the legal system that I know I didn't do this. So this is a joke. I'll be out of here in no time. I do not think he expected this. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, no.
And they let him sit there for 2, 3. I mean, why did they not give him? I mean, I guess I know why they didn't give him bail, but I just.
Who knows?
I don't know, guys. This is insane.
It's such
Listen, I'm still open to the fact that if you prove to me,
right.
and you got to really prove to me and show me real proof, not the bullshit that we've seen, that he did this, I'm down. Let's do it. I'll help
But you
load the
haven't shown
gun.
it to me yet.
I will
Right.
help you load the gun for the firing squad, okay? Because it's bullshit that what happened to these victims, but I don't see it. And Brian does not
Match
I don't
up.
know, guys. I'm not perfect and I'm not like the be all end all of anything. And, but I get vibes from people when I watch them and listen to them and see how they interact and just, no.
I just
there's
don't think
nothing
one
about him.
person. There's just not one person that did it either.
No,
So
you're
there's
right.
that.
Not at all.
Like I said to Willie this morning, if his dad, if he has a conversation with his dad privately, whatever, and his dad says, I believe in my son, and Willie believes him, I trust his parents' judgment. I'll trust Willie's judgment. If he says, I believe his dad, that he didn't, he's innocent.
Right.
Like,
in Texas,
I don't know him, but I would trust both their judgments. And I would think his dad and his mom would know. You know what I mean? Like, and if there's the reason why he pleaded guilty, then I'm sure we'll find out. But if his mom says, look, I know my son, I'll believe them, and
right. And real Texas Ranger, that's what people mistake when they see that. He drove by that area 23 times, meaning he drove from Pullman to Moscow where all the stores are. They're not in Pullman. He drove by that area at 40 miles. Like Sarge says, you can't stalk somebody at 40 miles an hour. The car never stopped.
It was on the
23
highway.
times they show him driving through that area, which was everybody else did it too. Going to the laundromat, going to the restaurants, going to the grocery store, going to the doctors, going to get your hair cut.
Target
He was driving by that area within was 1,000 yards or something weird like that. But anyway, he never stopped. He was never close to that house. It was up in that realm of area, but we'll say Walenta Drive, okay? A main run to go through this area. He never stopped. He never slowed down. He just went through there 23 different times. And
Yeah,
so did 300,000 other people.
Right.
Yeah, I go the same way to work every day. So
Right. Exactly. And if he likes Target, I said that the Target was on the way there. And plus,
Right.
like the Mad Greek, and how many other people served that went to the Mad Greek or phones connected to the Mad Greek that would have motive? All of them.
It was a
Every single
passive
one.
connection, though. It wasn't even an actual connection. It was him looking up restaurants in my area.
So misleading. That is so effing misleading.
They've done that through this whole case to prove their narrative, to pinpoint this guy. No matter what you tell them, no matter what you put out there, they were going to show you a different way to prove that he did this, and they can't do it. They can't do
they
it.
have an answer for everything.
Yeah.
And
I think
it's always wrong, right? And then again, like Tomboy said, all that was Texas is he connected to the tower that serves the same house. That's it.
This is why I get so frustrated when people tell me, I think he did it because of this piece of information. It's like, well, every other single piece of information has turned out to be misleading BS. So why would you lean into one piece when you have a dozen things that are misleading BS? How could you possibly lean into any of the remaining stuff that has yet to turn up as BS? Because I fully expect it all to turn up. Why you'd have to be a fool, as I said before, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. And these people are full of BS.
Right. And that's the thing. In one day, mark my words, I could bet everything I own on this. One of these days, it may not be for a long ass time, but one day it's going to come out. The entire truth is going to come out, and it's going to point 5,000% away from Brian Koberger.
And it may not be in Dago. It may not be in our lifetime.
It may not, but it's going to come out because this is going to go in. This is going into the law books and the history books. I promise you that.
Oh yeah.
But it will. The truth will come out somewhere down, and I'll be damned. I hope I'm hoping I'm around to see it, but I doubt it. But it will, and it'll be a damn sad day that the Gonsalves, the Chapin, the Kernodles, and the Laramies and Mogans, did not get the real justice they deserved. That these 4 victims did not get true justice for their murders. That even though that we're all out here being a voice because they're voice for the voiceless, that they did not get true justice, and that an innocent man is going to sit in prison until that happens, in my opinion. And the people that committed these murders are roaming free, living life.
That's what I was going to say. Is I'd be terrified to be living in Idaho. I mean, there's wrongfully convicted people everywhere anymore, but I'd be terrified to live in Idaho.
Look
I
at
agree
Bethany.
with you.
Bethany refuses to come back. Wonder why?
Because she knows. She knows the bad people are there. Thank you so much, Kim. I can't tell who got those right now, but thank you so much. That was so generous and
but also, Dago, I was gonna ask, how much do you think that it's possible that like the Innocence Project could get a hold of this and take it on? And how long does that take?
Well, a long time. It's a lot to do with. You have to find good proof and things like that. But here's the thing: hold your horses, because we still don't know what might happen here, if at all. I know I'm sounding Mr. Wishful Thinking here, the king of wishful thinking. Let me sing that song to you. But what's up, Pappy man? Good to see you. But maybe something will happen with this, okay? And if that's the case, we don't need the Innocence Project. But if not, and people push this enough, maybe somebody.
I think that's the key is public dissent, public opinion.
That's why I'm doing this every single day. Yeah, Jesse, you're right. We can't stop talking about this until something of the truth comes from this.
We need somebody like Tucker Carlson or Candace Owens, somebody that's got 2 million followers on YouTube.
Joe Rogan screaming about it or something. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Candace Owens definitely needs to jump on this, in my opinion, big time.
I'm trying to get my other podcaster people in to start talking about this, but they don't. And then even my lawyer, I'm trying to get him to I'm sending him all kinds of stuff, but I don't know, because he's like getting ready to take the bar, and he's like, I don't have time right now. I'm like, please.
Well, there's rumors out there though. That's the thing. There's a lot of rumors. There's from my understanding that the Appellate attorneys don't want to touch this. Okay.
Well, I just want to.
I don't blame them. I don't blame them. But we need somebody like Johnny Cochran or Alan Jackson or somebody that has that personality that wants to come in here and say, you know what, fuck you. This is bullshit. We're gonna make this right.
Well, that was my other question.
They're also afraid of it for some reason.
I just want to look at it, or talk to his lawyer and find out what happened. At least figure out why he pleaded guilty. Is there a way that he's not guilty? I just want them to find a way to talk to the people that.
That's what I worry about. Texas is right, because he pled on this one. They probably won't. Okay.
We need somebody with balls to take this on. Well, maybe we should call the First Lady of France.
Do you think if Alan Jackson was the attorney that it would have been different?
Well, it depends on. I don't know.
Jesse's laughing at me. I know.
No, I wasn't laughing at you. I said that we need somebody with balls, and then I said, let's call the First Lady of France.
Yeah, Jesse said Alan Jackson he thinks would have had a different outcome, and I don't know that he would have, because it wasn't gonna happen. They weren't gonna let this happen, in my opinion. And that's what I'm saying. I don't think any attorney at that point was gonna get through with this. I just don't. That's my opinion. But maybe Maybe
Well,
because Alan Jackson
if
is like doesn't take shit from anybody. So
But why
and
would
the public opinion would be different. I think Alan Jackson would have assembled a media campaign and a team that would have had a more of a public outcry that we'd have a lot
Maybe.
more support than we have right now.
the one big thing I think everybody needs to remember is we don't know
Well,
how
well,
bad these threats are and who they're coming from towards Ian Taylor and Eliza Massif and Jay Logston and the rest of that team. If they threaten their lives and their families' lives, nobody's gonna fall into that. Okay.
Yeah.
They're not. Nobody's gonna fall into that and say, okay, I'll defend you. If they're gonna kill my family, then so be it. That ain't gonna happen. Okay.
This is
It's not gonna happen. So that, in my opinion,
the court should set him free, and it shouldn't take a lawyer to set him free. You know what I mean?
That's not gonna happen though. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. In my opinion, that's why this happened like this, because I feel strongly because Anne started acting weird. Okay. Not only did her mom die, but and Hitler wasn't giving shit. She started acting strange and she started to back down. And I don't mean back down as in stop doing her job. She wasn't as pushy, as bold. There you go. And that to me showed that something in the background was going on, in my opinion, and it's not good. Okay. That's why I think she backed down a little bit and I don't think those things happened until she got to Ada County, because she wasn't like that with Triple J. She wasn't taking his shit. She'd stand right back up to him. You know what I'm saying? And he just kind of.
It was right after the Cy Ray stuff. After he called Cy Ray a conspiracy theorist, that's the last time I've seen her make a move. I mean, she's been like a deer in headlights ever since that.
And that's what I'm saying. I feel that things were said to her in the background privately. Maybe things were sent to her home. Maybe somebody went to her home.
Or she found out the truth of what really happened, and she's like, "Oh shit, they're never gonna let this come out."
Well, it could be that too, And I think that maybe because she is part of the state there, okay, that they thought she was going to play ball, and she wasn't, okay. And when she didn't, people started saying, you might want to do this, or this is going to happen, and
yeah.
That's my thought on this. That's what I thought ever since.
Threatened too.
I just think
same with Brian's family, and there was court staff. They said that were getting threats, folks. People that just work for the courts, not just the defense team, but court staff. So that's nothing to play with. I don't trust people enough to say that's bullshit. You're bluffing.
Yeah.
Nope. Sorry. But anyway,
it's just
that's why I kind of still defend Ann in that aspect, because we don't know. If we knew that didn't happen or that wasn't going on, then I'd probably be there where Jesse is with the whole, I think she should have done this, or that. Well, and I respect Jesse's thoughts on that. Don't get me wrong, folks. I absolutely do. But I just feel like there's got to be, because knowing Ann Taylor, when she first started, I went back and looked her up and read on her and looked at her other cases and her statistics and how well she did and the way she did things. And I've looked a couple videos up where she was in court and watched her in this. The Ann Taylor that we saw towards the end of this was not her at all. Okay.
I mean, we see that she filed motion after, like, which she saw what we see, right? So and then she's getting denied. It's all getting denied. I would be like, I can't believe that.
Not to mention the legal aspect to this and the actual court proceedings. She was not getting shit.
Right.
They weren't giving her nothing. He wasn't going to work with her to save his life. No way in hell. He worked, in my opinion, he worked for the prosecution the way it seemed at the end.
Right.
And at that point, so she didn't have that.
No.
She didn't have any assistance from the court systems to help her client. So take that and then throw on the top of that one, her mother passed away during all this. Two, she's getting threats possibly from people, and we don't know how bad these threats were, so on and so forth. And at that point, she probably said, "You know what, Brian, I'm sorry. I'm gonna do whatever I can do to save your life, my friend." But after that,
that sounds like to me ineffective assistance of counsel. You just made an excellent case for ineffective assistance of counsel.
It absolutely is a basis for appeal, and I'm hoping that they see this and that the threatening and all that bullshit was not serious enough to keep him from doing this. That's all I'm saying. Because I know,
Hitler, in my opinion, Hitler had his mind made up from day one that he was guilty.
I mean, didn't they kind of lie to him too?
Well, yeah, but he has the ability to see. He should have the ability, but
Right.
who knows, folks? Maybe he was getting threatened.
That's another thing.
I don't put it past it. If this is that deep and it's
Well,
that
because
serious,
Well, Santa Claus pisses me. He scares me. He doesn't look right in the head to me.
I feel that he could have been being threatened.
Ugh, I don't know. I think he runs the town or something. I don't
I'm
know.
just telling you, he is the boss. We know that.
Well,
Okay,
one thing about Hitler is he really put his fist down when that documentary, that first Dateline thing came out, the
the
leaks.
Dateline thing.
And then all of a sudden he just forgot all, I mean, it wasn't the same Hitler we saw.
there's something that happened within that
Yeah.
2-week period of time to everybody, in my opinion, when gears switched deeply into a different area. Okay.
Okay.
And I don't know who all got hit with this or who all didn't, but something happened. Okay.
Yeah.
And there's no way, guys, we're not stupid. And we've been
Right.
talking about this forever. Okay.
Because I thought it was going one way, man. I was like, man, like this is going to trial. We're a month away. This is happening. Everything's going to get exposed or not exposed. The truth's going to come out. This is going one way. And
See, there's
then
one-
all of a sudden, oh, we're going to offer him a plea.
And that's why we all said, wait, what? And nobody understands this. And I've been thinking about it. And that is the only thing in my mind, as small as it is, it makes this actually go in a direction that goes, okay, I get it now. Now, this is why I'm not real surprised. I won't be real surprised if there is no appeal filed, because
Right.
there's still threats. If they're going on, they're still there, I'm sure. And like I said, we have 10 days, folks, at this time. Brian Koberg has 10 days, I think.
There's
And-
still
and I
10 days left.
I think it was 11 from yesterday, so that would make it 10 or 12 or 11, 10 in between 12 and 10 days. Okay. And I'm if he files for post conviction relief, that is the best bet that this kid has, because that will jumpstart this right away. It'll give him up to a year to process whatever he can, maybe to get proof out there of things that are being threatened in the background and this and that, and the possibility.
Well, the innocent. There's no.
You know what I mean? Just all that, because it'll give him a lot of time to build that up. That was another issue she had, was that she wasn't prepared. She was not prepared, in my opinion, to be able to go to trial for this, because they purposely made sure she couldn't be. Okay.
Yeah.
She had, what was it, discovery number 25 that came in after the plea?
Oh, yeah. The whole Dylan stuff, too,
That's
right?
not good. That means you still don't have everything. And I believe that a lot of this she didn't have. I think Eddie even said he believes that she didn't have a lot of this stuff either, and more. So he just has to file a notice of appeal, and that's it. Right. If he does it, okay. But there's got to be a fear there, in my opinion, that the day that he files the appeal, if something big going to happen.
But see, it's one thing to, like, all right, they don't have to solve it, right? They don't have to frame somebody else. You know what I mean? If you're getting, why, you know what I mean? Like, just don't solve the case if you're trying to hide something. You know what I'm saying?
No, they had to solve this, Krista, because of the way it happened and where it happened. They had to have a solution, and they had to have a face and a name to put on this, period.
Well,
this would not have been, it would not have been accepted if they just let it go.
But just don't set up somebody that doesn't deserve it. Set up somebody that you know murder. I don't know. It's so weird to set up somebody that's so
For some reason, this had to be solved. And that's what Twizzle and I were talking about, was he said he doesn't understand why they had to get in such a hurry to put a face and a name to this murder or to this crime, because a lot of murders go unsolved all the time, and they don't, they just kind of forget about it. So Twiz is just real confused as to why this one had to be solved right then.
My thought is because it's the university.
The college, Scott
university,
Green.
I think, is the big part of it right there, because if it's not, imagine what would have happened if they would have not pulled somebody in on this and basically said they solved it. How many people do you think would have stopped going to that college?
A lot.
Okay.
They
because now,
needed to set the precedent for the IGG and the predictive software that helps them solve. They're letting AI solve crimes, and this
Oh,
is
yeah,
one step toward Minority Report is what it is.
yeah,
Pretty soon the
oh yeah,
precogs are going to be out.
big
yeah.
time. And I'm not even. I'll end my own life before living in a society like that. I'm telling
Holy
you
hell
right
no.
now.
But
No
I'm
way.
just, but this is the thing too, is with like what happened in my college town, when my professor went missing, and I mean that's a little different because whatever. But when the guy got stabbed in my college town, I mean, it didn't really. I don't know. I guess because it was solved right away, it wasn't really a big deal. But if it wasn't, if we didn't know who it was,
Mm.
then it might have been a little different. But I mean, our college, the college that I went to is, it's kind of like the University of Idaho in Moscow.
Mhm.
It because the college runs the town, or the college
Yeah,
is the main source of, in the town.
right.
um it because it brings a lot of college kids to town, and then like we have a Walmart, so a lot of college kids work at Walmart, or like work within the town, and make the economy in the town,
Mm-hmm.
um
Make the world go round over there.
yeah, yeah. So you want kids to come to your college. I mean, but I will say though, it was kind of, I mean, knowing that someone that we knew killed a guy, I
Mm,
mean, that was unsettling. But because it was immediately resolved, um,
right.
but when things are not immediately resolved, it's a different story, I guess. But
Yeah. It's such like we keep saying, like Brian, he's any one of us. Like he could be any one of us,
yeah,
and that's like not
That's why we can't just let this
cool.
go.
No, like, but I mean, again, like, do we, like, at least with the Karen Reed movement, there's lawyers behind it. You know what I mean? Lawyers. I mean, I'm waiting for like a bunch of sharks. I don't know, a bunch of sharks that just take this on. But like you said, maybe there's something they're scared of, or I don't know. I
don't
don't.
know.
It's just a fucking shame that these 4 kids lost their lives, and nobody really does know. There's no motive anyway. There's no motive at all. So
Yeah,
And that statement right there is what I was trying to get to right here. Is the college wanted it covered up, done, over
Mhm.
with, solved. That way they were going to lose so much money. And at that moment in time, he was in the midst of trying to buy Phoenix University. Okay. So if you were to lose enrollment and income, that's going to screw that whole thing up. That was a big deal for him, which he lost it anyway, I
I was gonna
believe.
say, did
But
he lose that? Yeah.
yeah, because he's an idiot. And that's why I think he was involved in so much. It was all about
was
money
this
with
Scott
him.
Green?
Do what?
Was this
Yeah,
Scott
Scott
Green?
Green, right.
Okay.
So Texas is absolutely right that it was going to lose them so much money.
Mm.
It had to be done now. Because imagine, like I said, my kids wouldn't go. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but if you got a quadruple homicide that happened on campus there, and you
Mm-hmm.
have no idea who did it, hell no, my kids ain't going there, and neither is anybody else's for that matter. And everybody that goes there, their kids are going to get pulled.
Right.
So that's a lot of income to worry about losing, and so they couldn't have that happen. And not to mention, the town's going to be on board. I've said this more than once. The town's going to be on board because that college runs that town and it supports
Mhm.
that town. If it wasn't for either one, they need each other. Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
And
all I'm saying.
the jury pool could have been. Like I keep saying, like I know everybody's like, oh, they can't rush the death penalty. They can't rush his date. I didn't say rush it like next week. Like he's not gonna. I didn't think he would be scared of going and put in front of them in like a week or two.
Brian sent a message through somebody that Twiz posted that he got his hands on. Okay, and it was basically that he took a plea because the death penalty getting taken off the table was important because he thought maybe somebody told him or he heard somewhere that they were going to try to rush his death.
Anything could happen.
And here's what was said: you can't do it. Annie had stated that's not something that happens, so on and so forth, or fast track it. There we go. But it can happen. I did look it up after that whole day to see if it's something. It can happen. It's rare, but it can happen. And I can almost see it in this case to
I
get
mean,
rid
it can
of him.
happen. It can happen. It just him being in
Yes.
prison. You know,
That's what, and that,
if they really want him gone, I mean,
True.
he's not any better off.
with what he's done recently.
Yeah.
And you know, that whole thing about he's been greenlit, that's true. Okay. You didn't make friends and you made a mistake up front, and that's not his fault because Brian doesn't understand that kind of stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, if you go to a hotel and they tell you you got turn down service and a continental breakfast in the morning,
He wants
you go in there expecting turn down service and a continental breakfast. Well, he's not getting that. So he's looking at the manual saying, I'm supposed to have this, this, and this because he's that type of a person because of his autism. So he complains
And
about
Chris,
it like you would
did you see
anywhere
the
else.
video? Did you see the video Christina Randall put out on that?
No, I don't really watch her much. Why? What was it?
She said, "Oh, Brian is just going through his policy book. Like, I need this, this, and this, and I missed a serving of beans in my
That's what he's
meal."
doing.
Yeah, and she was like making fun of him for going through the policy
I'm
list.
so mad. That
Because
makes
she's
me
been
so
in prison and she's, yeah.
So have I, but like, I mean, listen, I
But
didn't get shampoo. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? I get it. Like, he can't be
somebody
the
that's
first person
autistic doesn't understand the rules and regulations inside the walls of prison, not just the basis of it. Okay. And that's what AR was saying. Like, you don't do them kinds of things. AR said he sent him in a postcard that kind of gave some advice as to how to live inside there. Whether he got it or not, he doesn't know. But
It's so nice of him.
I mean,
He's so nice to us.
he's already endangered his life. And like I said, I gave him 3 months. AR gave him, I think it's about the same. And I don't want to see that happen, guys, but I'm scared to death it's going to. And guess what? Like I said, if somebody takes Brian out, it's over. We're done. That's the end of this. There's nothing else coming from this. They will drop it all. Investigations are over with. Everything's done. We will see nor hear nothing more about this, and we will move on. Jesse just left.
I just feel too like, and then like, listen, I would not, even if they don't fast track it, just knowing that's hanging over my head, it would hard for me to fight for my life. It'd be hard for me to fight and be able to actually do it efficiently, knowing I have a date coming up. You know, even if it's 10 years, 20 years, you know,
right?
Just wanted to, I would want that, at least let me get that off the table, and then I'll fight for my life, because I feel like just knowing that's hanging over your head is just, I don't know. His mom, it'd probably be easier to fight not having that stress of knowing that there's a date and who knows what these people could do, you know?
Yeah. Jesse, you need a better chair, brother. Seriously. What's up, Legendary? All right, y'all. Let me read some more of this stuff, because we've been here for a minute and I haven't read a whole lot of anything, but it's been a great conversation though. And I still want you guys' input into what we're reading too. So let's read some more of this.
Dago, I'm gonna jump down though, because I got to get ready for work. I'll still be in chat. I'll still be in chat though.
Thanks, Casey. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Every time, anytime.
Bye, Jason.
Right.
I was about to say the
Bye,
same thing.
Krista.
Bye. I have to go live at 4:30, so I was saying the same. I'm leaving you too.
All righty then. Well, thank you for joining me. I'll just read on my own. It's all good.
No, I was like, I wanted to come up and chat because I just, you know, I'll probably be back later.
I know everybody's getting tired of hearing this and me reading this stuff, but if I want to make sure that we know every single detail in this, because I think it's that important. I do.
I think it is, and then you talk about it at night and have the conversations later on. It's a good thing. Sorry,
and we find things that we every day I find out something new. That's another important part of this. So yeah,
and different perspectives is important. That's how we learn from each other.
Agreed.
Appreciate you guys so much.
We appreciate you very much as well.
I'll see you guys later.
All right, hon. Take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye. And I'm only going to read a little bit more since we've been here 3.5 hours anyway. So you guys got out of it today. So this one here on December 2nd, ISP Alderson and Detective Sergeant Van Leuven interviewed blank, date of birth of 01, via telephone regarding blank blank, who were close with victims. The victim, Kaylee Gonsalves, and I subsequently interviewed blank blank blank, date of birth of 2002, and blank, date of birth of 01. For victimology purposes. Homicide victim Kaylee Gonsalves was a member of the blank, we just said it, Alpha Phi, whatever sorority. The purpose of this interview with blank was for her to go through the Blemmer roster. I actually read all that. Let me get down to where I was. On 12/6, Alderson and I interviewed blank, date of birth of 02, at Moscow PD for victimology purposes related to her relationship with Gonsalves. Blank was a former roommate as well as fellow pledged class member with Gonsalves. So I'm guessing this is Ashlyn Couch. Blank had, I'm going to say Ashlyn had also known victims Xana and Ethan Chapin and Maddie Mogan. On December 7th of 22, Special Agent Mark, God bless you, and I interviewed blank of 01 at the ISP Police District Office 1 in Coeur d'Alene, for victimology purposes related to her relationship with Gonsalves. Blank was a former roommate as well as fellow pledge class member with Gonsalves and had also known Xana and Maddie Mogan. These interviews were all recorded, and I later placed these recordings on disc and will transfer this disc to MPD. And again, no follow-up, but we have no idea what the interview was. That Nero Nuggets is insane. She puts out some of the most ridiculous shit I've ever seen in my life. So these people here, folks, were all interviewed, okay, for victimology purposes, and we have no idea who any of them are, which is sad to me. November 30th of 22, Alderson and I, Van Leuven, interviewed blank, date of birth of 01, regarding blank members who were close with victim. These are frat members, close with Ethan Chapin. And the homicide victim, Ethan Chapin, was a member of Sigma Chi fraternity. The purpose of this interview with blank was for him to go through the blank member roster, identify members that were particularly close with Chapin. For purposes of conducting subsequent victimology interviews, we asked for former roommates, follow pledge class members, big and little brothers, and we had been provided a member roster list from university. I subsequently interviewed blank members blank for victimology purposes. And it shows, once again, all these names. These are all frat members at Sigma Chi that we have no idea who they are. Every one of them, with the exception of blank. These interviews were audio recorded. Probably Hunter Johnson, or no, Hunter's not in that one, is he? Maybe with the exception of Hunter Chapin. These interviews were audio recorded. I later placed these recordings on a disc and will transfer this disc to Moscow PD. On December 13th to 22, blank gave me an odd letter that had been sent to the frat house from a blank from Winchester, Idaho. Why did we see that name before? Winchester, Idaho. I swear I've seen that stated somewhere before. I will transfer this letter to Moscow PD. Nothing further. Where's the letter at? Why is there nothing about the letter? See? That's what I'm talking about. On December 3rd, Special Agent Zahachewski and I, Michael Van Leuven with ISP, interviewed blank. Date of birth is 01, again at the ISP District 1 office in Coeur d'Alene. Blank was known to us as homicide victim Maddie Mogan's ex-boyfriend. As an ex-boyfriend of one of the victims, blank was considered a person of interest in the investigation. I called blank and asked him to come into the office for an interview. Blank agreed and came directly. This call was audio recorded. During the course of our interview, blank was completely cooperative and friendly throughout. The interview was audio recorded. Blank agreed to provide a DNA sample, which I took using buccal swabs. Blank also consented to have his phone downloaded for us to review its contents. This was done during the course of the interview. Blank telephone number was blank. Blank signed a consent form for his phone to be searched. I later transferred the buccal swabs as well as the phone download to MPD. I scanned the consent form and I will place the scan on disc containing audio recordings of the interview with blank, as well as the recording of the call asking him to come into the office for the interview. I will transfer the disc to the custody of Moscow PD, as well as the original signed consent form. I examined Blank's arms and hands and did not observe any cuts or marks. I took photographs of his arms and hands and placed those on the disc containing the audio recordings. Blank said at the time of the homicides occurred, he was sleeping at his residence located at blank blank in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Blank said that he had a roommate named Blank, date of birth of 2000. He said that Blank's telephone number was blank, and Blank said he did not remember whether his roommate was at the apartment that night. Blank said that he had worked Blank on November 12th in Coeur d'Alene. He said he went to lunch with his family and roommates at blank blank in Coeur d'Alene the next day. He said that Blank was the first person to tell him about the homicides. He was unclear what had happened at first because some people were saying that they had that they had overdosed, and others were saying that they had been stabbed. He texted with his friend blank blank, who had known blank blank and Kaylee Gonsalves, asking about what had happened, and blank said that blank said it happened and it was all real. Blank said it wait a minute. Blank said it felt surreal. Blank said that he would have no idea, no clue who would have committed the homicides. Blank gave biographical information and victimology information and referred to the audio recording for more info. Beginning on December 6th, Idaho State Police Detective Sergeant Michael Van Leuven contacted hospitals and medical clinics that provided service for Moscow, Idaho, and the surrounding areas to inquire about any patients treated for knife wounds in the days following the homicides. I contacted the following providers in Lewiston, Idaho, Clarkston, Washington area, St. Joseph Tri-State Clearwater Medical Clinic, and Valley Medical Clinic. All reported no treatment consistent with knife wounds. I contacted the following medical providers in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho area, Kootenai Health, Prairie Clinic, and Northwest Family Medicine. Kootenai Health responded with a list of patients treated for possible knife wounds, and I have placed this list on a disc and will transfer it to Moscow PD. I contacted the following providers in the Spokane, Washington area: Deaconess Hospital, Holy Family, Providence Urgent Care, and all reported no treatment consistent with knife wounds. I contacted the following providers in the Pullman, Washington area: Ready Care, Palouse Medical, Pullman Regional Hospital, and Chase Health. All reported no treatment consistent with knife wounds. I found it odd that Kootenai Health provided a list of 77 patients treated for sharp object laceration and puncture wounds, while all the other providers advised treating no wounds consistent with what we were looking for. That is kind of weird. 77? Jesus. That's weird. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Idaho State Police Detective Michael Van Leeuwen had first called blank, date of birth of 2000. Wait a minute. All right. On December 4th of 22, and he said that he was in Dallas, Texas, and would be back to Coeur d'Alene that following Tuesday when he would come in for an interview. Blank called back on 12/6 of 22 and agreed to come in the following day for the interview. On December 7th of 22, FBI agent Mike M. Zahuski and I interviewed blank blank regarding his presence in Moscow on the weekend of the homicides, as well as his relationships with some of the victims. This was both an illumination interview as well as a victimology review. Blank was completely cooperative and friendly throughout this entire process. Okay. Blank consented to give a DNA sample, which I took using buccal swabs. I later transferred those swabs to the Moscow PD. Blank also consented to download his phone for forensic examination. This was done while the interview was conducted. The phone number was blank. A copy of this download was provided to MPD. I have scanned the consent form and then placed a scan on the disk and will be transferred to MPD. Blank name had come in through tip 5594. The information in this tip alleged that blank resides in Coeur d'Alene and frequently visits Moscow, where he stays in a travel trailer. The tip further alleged that blank is acquainted with victims Kaylee Gonsalves and Maddie Mogan and had pressured them to join him at his trailer on the night before the murders, but they refused. The tip further alleges that University of Idaho student blank had refused blank advances over Labor Day weekend, and that blank became violent and threw a vape at her. Blank said that he lives in Coeur d'Alene and works at the blank in the blank department. Blank said that he had traveled to Moscow for the November 12th and 13th weekend, and he said that he had traveled to Moscow for the purpose of attending the University of Idaho football game in which his friend blank blank played for the Vandals. Blank advised that he had traveled to the game with blank parents who pulled their trailer pulled their travel trailer for the game. Blank said he knew Gonsalves, Mogan, and Xana from blank, blank said he, Gonsalves, and Mogan all attend blank together, and Kernodle had attended school in Post Falls. Blank related that he had several friends that were students at U of I. Blank said that he had talked to Gonsalves, but that they had never dated. He said Gonsalves and Mogan mostly stuck to their own friend group. Blank said that he had Snapchatted Mogan to see if they wanted to hang out. Mogan said that they were going to the Greek party. Blank said that he and his friends could not go because they were not Greek. Blank said that his friend blank blank lived in the blank in Moscow, and that after the game he had hung out at the blank trailer for a while and then had gone to blank apartment. Blank said that he ended up going to an off-campus party at a house northeast of blank apartments that he referred to as a golf party because U of I golf players live there. He said most of the people that were at this party were student athletes from University of Idaho. Blank said that immediately after the game that they had hung out at blank parents' trailer, and after that, at approximately 8 or 9, they left to go to the golf house party. Blank said that he estimated 50 to 100 people were present for that party. And blank said that he stayed at the party for approximately 4 hours and then went back to blank apartment between 1 and 2 a.m. Blank said that blank had a friend who was a female, blank named blank, who had an apartment near blank. Blank said he, blank, and some other friends went to blank apartment and hung out there. Blank said that he ended up sleeping at blank apartment that night, and blank said a couple of other girls had shown up at blank apartment that night, but he did not know their names. Blank said that he never went to the house where the homicides occurred and had no additional contact with the girls that night. Blank said that he tried calling Mogan the next day. Blank filled out a victim background questionnaire, and I scanned this and placed it on disk. The original will be transferred to MPD, provided additional victimology information, and once again, put on disk and sent to MPD. Let's see, guys. One more for today, and we'll be good for right now. I'll be back later, though. Well, maybe 2 more. On December 8th, Agent Zahakuski and I, Sergeant Van Leuven, interviewed blank at the Idaho State Police District 1 office. Blank consented to giving DNA, which I took on buccal swabs. I later transferred swabs to MPD. Blank had traveled with friends to Moscow for the football game on 12th and 13th. Blank said he knew victim Xana Kernodle from blank, but had no contact with her for a year or two. And blank said that he didn't know any of the other victims and had never been to the house where the homicides occurred. Special Agent Zakuski led this interview. See his report for more info. On December 9th, FBI Agent Zakuski and ISP Detective Sergeant Van Leuven interviewed blank, date of birth of 01. At the ISP District 1 office in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Blank had been a friend of Xana Kernodle since blank described his relationship with Kernodle as being in his friend group and not one that was romantic. He said the last time he saw Kernodle was at the Halloween party hosted by the blank fraternity, probably Sigma Chi, at the house down the hill from the fraternity known as Fratlantis. Blank said that he had not had any contact with Kernodle since that party. He met Ethan Chapin at that party, and he said that Ethan seemed like a very friendly guy. He said he didn't know Kaylee or Maddie, but he thought that he may have met Mogan at the party. Blank gave additional victimology-related information about Kernodle, and again, this interview was recorded. It was put on disc and sent to MPD. Okay, last one then. ISP Detective Jeff Talbot was assigned as lead crime scene investigator on January 27th of 23 at the request of Defense Counsel, Kootenai County Public Defender and Taylor. Matt Nodal collected multiple items from the residence, and I was present during his collection. I completed a final walkthrough video of the residence. That must have been what we saw then. On January 27th, defense expert Matt Nodal processed 1122 at the request of Ian Taylor. I was present during his processing, and Nodal collected multiple items from the residence. Items Nodal collected included clothing from the laundry room, swabs of various stains from throughout the residence, wall sections, there it is, wall sections, and flooring from Kernodle's and Mogan's rooms containing various stains. I photographed the items he collected. Nodal completed his processing at 4:45 and left the scene. I completed the final walkthrough video of the residence and entered photographs into evidence located at ISP District 2 office. And we're not going to see those pictures, of course. Okay, we'll stop there. Or wait. Yeah, we'll stop right there then. That's number 185. We did good 10 of them. That's not bad. We just had a really good conversation going. So, Guardian Granny, good to see you. You keep catting out. I'm sorry, I'm boring you, Texas. I don't mean to. My voice is probably so ridiculous at this point now, hearing it for so long. I think that's gonna do it, guys. If we can throw can we throw Chris's link in here? That way, guys can go check it out. Right. Hopefully, Eddie, you can jump back with me next time. Sorry that you jumped down, bud. But yeah, throw Chris's link in here, guys, and you guys can go support and follow her as well if we could. But that's gonna do it, guys. I want to thank Jesse and Krista and JC and Eddie, of course, for jumping up here. It was a really good conversation. And I like those just as much as reading these. So that's it. At least we didn't lose anything. Just because we didn't read. But we will be back, and I will be back later this afternoon or early evening, I should say, maybe to do some more of whatever we're going to do. I don't know yet how we're going to do this. She's live now. So yeah, throw that link in there, guys. Go check out Miss Krista, support her. Let her know that that we want to support her as well. Don't be hating. Thank you as well. All you guys, don't forget to love yourselves, love each other, and please don't change a thing about yourselves. SRB, drop that in Discord for me as well, please, hon. And now you can go take a nap, Texas. You guys are amazing. I appreciate you all so very much, and I will see you guys here very soon. Bye-bye, y'all.
Let's get it. This ain't no slow burn. This a new chapter. There go Cafe the Meatballs. Yeah, we locking it down. Late night, no sleep, mind on the chase. Found a new feed and I picked up the pace. The cafe, the truth, no lies on the table. Found my whole family and this shit ain't stable. Used to feel lost, feeling just like a ghost. Now I got a whole crew, man, I'm feeling the most. They go on the mic, yeah, his voice is tweaking. Every time he drops through my intellect, awaken. This ain't for the clout, ain't for the quick fame. This for they lost ones that they forgot. And they we watching new cases, we digging in deep. While the whole world out here still fast, still sleep. For the cafe, this for the whole fam. This for the real ones that don't give a damn. We holding it down, yeah, we sticking to the code. The meatballs on fire, yeah, we breaking the mold. So thank you, you are a leader. Build a real community for every single reader. Only on YouTube, but the fun is one is more wide. From the cafe to the crib, yeah, we all ride. Ain't no merch drops, just pure dedication. This ain't just a channel, it's a new nation. We all in the comments, we all in the chat. We got a real bond and you can't top that. From the missing to the victims, we seeing the light. We standing for the truth in the middle of the night. You gave us a voice, gave us something to believe in. The meatballs, man, you better not leave. We loyal to the real, we ain't doing no faking. Every new video, man, the whole squad awakening. He don't need no fame, he just need a real mic and a loyal crew that's gonna ride with him for life. For the cafe, this for the whole fam. This for the real ones that don't give a damn. We holding it down, yeah, we sticking to the code. The meatballs on fire, yeah, we breaking the mold. So thank you, Diego, you and your whole leader. Built a real community, believe every single reader. Only on YouTube, but the fun is worldwide. From the cafe to the crib, yeah, we ride. Yeah. From the cafe to the crib. We all ride. Dago. The meatballs. To the last upload, man. Peace.